dude, like, if I do that, then our recording of our conversation doesn't get recorded to the same file, and it's just a pain in the ass. So we're just gonna sit here for like 10 minutes like while people come in, I suppose. So the stream's live now.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay, perfect.
give your social security number or whatever the equivalent is in Canada.
No, that's man. Every time, like, cause my content, like when I make like computer stuff, I do so much virtual machine Linux stuff that everyone calls me paranoid about it. And funny thing, anytime somebody gets hacked, I'm the first guy they contact is like, "What's going on? Like, what did I do wrong?" I'm like, "Dude, you call me paranoid, and then you're in the same business that I am, and you click on the weird shady links, and it happens to you. Come on now."
Yeah,
So, I don't know,
your content is definitely interesting.
yeah,
I can see why it's successful. Given, like, I mean, you've got sort of niche knowledge that not everyone has, and you use it well. You know.
I try to, like, my thing with like computer stuff, it's like in the cybersecurity field, it's like one of my things with security and keeping yourself safe on the internet is like you don't just set it and forget it, right? Like you have to constantly learn it and be on top of it. So it's like the best you can ever do is tell people, it's like, don't freak out, don't panic. All right, your password, just because one site is hacked doesn't mean, you know, everyone has your social security. Just jump in, follow these steps, and you'll be fine. There's a lot of people on the internet, like, they profit off of that, like you know, the freaking out the audience of fear mongering, I guess, right? Like that's what it is, and it's just like the more you can mitigate that, the better it is in at least this field, right? Like everything's headed to the internet, so it's like you might as well be on top of it before, you know.
When you say profiting from the fear mongering, do you mean like making content around it, spooking people out? Because
I feel like if you make content freaking people out, but you don't know what you're covering exactly, there's nothing wrong with talking about a security flaw, but like if you're gonna make content like that, you should also dedicate just as much time as you talk about it to also talking about the mitigations and the solutions as well, right? You can't just throw the problem and then throw people into, like, you know, you can't chop off the head of a chicken and just see it run around, so to speak.
What came to mind is, you ever seen these channels where they're like survivalist channels, and all their videos are titled like, the end is coming a week from now. The stock market's gonna crash. How to prepare when people are roaming the streets with guns, and it's.
I see so many crypto channels like that, man. Like, all the crypto stuff I've been covering, everyone always throws out, it's like, U.S. currency is finally dying. Hyperinflation will kick in the next month and destroy you. And I'm like, man. And then they keep pushing some bullshit coin. It's all just a grift, and that's the thing that freaks me out. Like, you say survival channel, but that ideology permeates so many aspects of YouTube, right? Like, I'm bringing up the financial aspect here. I'm talking about like crypto scams, and it blends in so well, you know. Like
fear gets clicks for a lot of channels, and it's kind of sad. Negativity as well.
Like,
yes, yeah.
Honestly, like I think the biggest thing the thing that I hate is, I think about a year or two ago, I was like super into like that content because it kept getting recommended, right? Like it kept showing up in my timelines, and I was like, I'll click on it while I'm working. And then it's like, it ruined like media for me, you know? Like it ruined movies and television. Like I'm talking about the culture war channels now, but it's like every time I go on and it's like, this movie is bad, this agenda is crazy, I'm like, dude, I don't know how you can thrive off of just being this negative every day of your life.
I mean, the money is good for these people, and that's all that really matters, right? But I mean, of course, talk about the audience. How do the audience deal with this? Like there's only so much negativity you can experience in a day and still be like psychologically well and able to function. I've multiple times like hit like not interested when I feel like I'm experiencing too much negativity in my kind of content feeds.
Yeah. I feel like I get to that point too, like at certain times in my career, right? Like when we have like a month where like so much, I don't know, so much controversy is happening, and like you can't help but not address it at certain points, especially in like, well, in my space, the computer sphere, and it's just like it gets to a point where like you have to stop, reset, because it really does like mentally drain you. Like I felt for months on end, not burnout, but just like a mental drain on me, you know? It's like I'm mad, like I'm just angry about shit the entire time.
And as a content creator, like people will ask you about this stuff and expect you to have an opinion, so you're kind of motivated to remain current on the current dramas, the current negativity going around.
Yeah.
Well,
I remember like even just the most recent Twitch like racism debate, and this is the thing that I hate the most. It's like I'm on stream and I get asked about it too, right, on YouTube or whatever, and it's like, what do you think about this word being said? And like, I hate the fact that we live in a world now where like I literally can say that just don't be racist and don't use bad terminology, and somehow on social media that's considered a hot take. Like, you go on Twitter and it's like, wow, okay, that's like, what the fuck? I can't go on the internet and just say don't be a piece of shit and like that's bad. Like, what?
Yeah, it is. It's just a terrible conversation, really, to have. And that's why
it really is.
When you mentioned you were gonna have that podcast and Hassan was gonna be on, I'm like, you're gonna be discussing that for like an hour, man. It doesn't sound nice.
I literally was just I wanted to understand what was going on, because I'm like, you can't, because when he came back, did you see his broadcast when he just like popped back on a couple days ago?
I didn't see it, but I saw him on Twitter saying I'm back.
Oh, he was back, and like the first thing he did, like I saw the clip of him just like repeating all the other slurs by like just 20, 30 at a row, and I'm like, dude, he was really testing the Twitch TOS. And honestly, if he had gotten banned that day, I would be completely okay with another ban, because like, my thing with TOS is if there's something in the TOS that says you can't do something, we don't do it. Like, I know that I scrub, as much as sometimes I don't agree with something, when you're on a website like Twitch or YouTube or really anything, you agree to a TOS. And if you're breaking it and you're going to have like, you know, a fit about it, then there's nobody you can, I'm not going to have the sympathy, you know? Like, I'm not going to sit there and say like,
it's not like he was, like, so often you'll get a warning. Like, I think in most cases, when you violate TOS, a warning is good. But in Hassan's case, he did get a warning, well, at least in the sense that his mods were banned for doing it. So he knew that calling someone, I'm on Twitch, the C word, I don't know what their policy is now, calling someone that will get you banned, and then he did it, so of course he's going to receive a ban. Whether or not I agree with that TOS policy, whatever. But like there was a time in Twitch's history where they had a policy where even saying the N-word was acceptable. As long as it was not calling a person the N-word. As in, because that's how language works, right? It matters what you're trying to communicate.
It's all
your
contextual,
meaning.
Of course.
It's all contextual. But over time, people are less willing to look at the context in which the word is used. So Twitch's policies have kind of gradually changed with that, where even saying it in any context can get you banned. And there were some little controversies over the years where people would say things that sound like the N-word and get banned. You remember that story? Some guy was playing League of Legends or something, and he was talking about like rushing top or something, and just he said it so fast, it sounded like the N-word, and he got banned.
I heard about that. It was that's the thing. Like, when I saw that policy on Twitch, immediately in my head I was always like, maybe they're trying to like cover every aspect of a game, you know, where it's like. Like, I remember playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and the first time you ever play that game, like, in the introduction, like, Micah just straight up throws, like, a slur out, and I was on YouTube, I was like, wow, okay. Like, he said that, I don't know if I can say it, I don't know what the policy is, but, like, it's D-A, like, it's like a very, like, small slur in comparison to the N-word, but he mentions it, and it's a time period thing. So I'm like, maybe it's like they're using it to cover their bases in terms of gaming, you know? And also, you're right, it is contextual, right? Like, at some point, it's not that saying a word makes you a racist immediately. It's how you use that word, obviously, right? Like,
so that's because it's the purpose of language is to communicate meaning. The words don't matter. Like, if I said the N-word backwards, reg-gin, and if I use that in the same way that the N-word is used in society, then like if I was calling people that, even if I'm not saying the N-word, I should be reprimanded in the exact same way as if I said the word itself, because I'd be communicating the same meaning. Like, because like on Facebook, people would use other words to mean different slurs, because like it's like coded language, right? But if you're communicating the same thing, it's the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's just it's all stupid. Like if you do GTA content, right? Sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
I'm getting my videos now demonetized if they have the C word in them, as in like a two hour video.
Yeah.
If a character says the C word, whole video demonetized. And I'm just like, especially as an Australian.
They put that, because I remember when like we had that little controversy and you used that word, you yelled it out.
Oh yeah.
I had to specifically blur that word because in the demonetization, when like, because people watching maybe don't know this, but like we had the like self check on ourselves. They put that word in the same tier as the N-word for us.
Yeah, and like, the slur against homosexuals. And I'm like, okay, I can understand in some countries it is a bit more taboo, but in Australia it's just a general swear word, a pejorative or whatever, like asshole or dick or whatever. But in America,
well, that's what I usually thought too. I mean, even as a Canadian, and I really only realized Americans were the one that got really mad about it. And I'm like, that's so weird how we're on an international website and we have to comply by U.S. like cultural norms. Like, what the fuck?
It is weird, but I suppose a lot of Australians over the course of our content, we've just said the C word just casually. And it's only, I think, fairly recently that I've noticed that it's actually getting cracked down upon. Either the algorithm's just getting better, maybe they can finally understand the Australian accent, I'm not sure. But it's been a pain in the ass, because now I have to watch every single bit of the video before I upload it to make sure there is not a single C word in it.
And it's like it's one of those words where it just like comes out because you're from that region. That's why like in certain videos I just switch to my native language from India, like Hindi and everything, and I just switch to that just so I can get past the fucking filter. Because I know that like if YouTube hits me with like, because I've had videos age restricted because I've used the F word so much. And I'm like, dude, I don't get it. Like a year or two ago, they weren't cracking down. Now it's like everything about it is so you can't use this language. And it's so weird. Like you can't use the F word, but the amount of like I can use the word shit constantly over and over. Like there's no communication from YouTube to anybody's end. There's no communication from any of these sites. So I mean, I don't know. It's insane.
Recently, YouTube has said you can use like shit and bitch in the first 30 seconds now, or something. As in, like, it's just weird what they consider okay and what they don't. And in some ways, they've relaxed, and in some ways, they've clamped down. But I have, because I saw today on Twitter, Call Me Kevin saying one of my videos got a policy strike or something, and I can't talk to anyone at YouTube. And this is weird for me to hear, because I can talk to people at YouTube. I've got a partner manager. I'm the community support, or the customer support. They talk to me all the time. Like I've had week-long conversations with people trying to get videos remonetized and stuff. Do you not have this experience?
Oh, some people don't. Like I know that when I talk to a few people myself, I'm surprised I'm the only one with like a partner manager that has like some leeway at YouTube. Like that's about the only thing, because like I thought everyone at a certain size would get a partner manager, but apparently they don't. Like
I was
some people with millions of subs don't have it.
I was talking to TGG recently. He got one at about 1 million. I'm not at 1 million subs yet, but I got mine, I don't know, like a year ago or something, and I was way smaller than I am now. I don't know what criteria they use to...
They might be basing it on viewership, though, because even when you were smaller, you were still pulling in a lot of views, though, between every channel you had.
Not Call Me Kevin kind of numbers. And I still don't pull Call Me Kevin numbers.
They changed it, I think, because we're daily uploaders, so I think we pop in the algorithm way more than, like, the regular,
Yeah, it's possible. I'm
surprised Call Me Kevin got it though. Like he's pretty clean. He scrubs his shit really well. So if he's getting a policy strike, I'm scared for me now.
Maybe they pick people who are more likely to have troubles to give partner managers to, because you or I swear more, do more risque kind of content. I mean, that could kind of make sense, maybe. But that seems a little bit disrespectful. Oh, you're doing good, so we're not going to give you attention.
We have to put you on YouTube parole because we don't trust you with your content. What the fuck?
I suppose we should say hello to chat, because we've been talking for more than 10 minutes. But hello, chat.
Hi, chat. How's it going?
Thank
you, Matt, for bringing me on here.
Oh, thank you for being here, Mudaha. Are you guys? Is his volume good? Do you want me to turn him up? Chat, is he good?
Yeah, I hope I'm good. If I'm not, I'll open up myself here too.
I mean, you look pretty good on the things here, and even if you're a small bit loud or soft, it can be fixed in post, because that is the power of editing.
God, I'm actually like I'm glad that like I know somebody else that edits as much as me on here, because everyone I talk to, it's like they have like just editors for every single thing that they do, and I know you work just as hard on like editing your own content and everything.
Oh yeah, I have editors, but it's like as I've gotten people to help me, my editing hasn't decreased. I still edit the exact same amount, because I just what I edit now differs. The less important things that I normally wouldn't have time to edit, I give to other people. So it's less that I've hired people to reduce the amount that I've edit, and it's more that I've hired people so I can
more content, so they're worrying about that,
and I can focus on the important things, and so my workload hasn't decreased. It's just what I work on is different now. Like I'm hitting my head against the wall trying to get my Pacifist series, another episode of that out. It's like many months overdue. It's
Man, that like every time I see you speedrun that game, I'm like it like stresses me out because I'm like to me I think GTA is a hard game to speedrun anyways, just because of the length of it and also like the randomness of it. Because it's like, how do you when you speedrun, how do you like handle things like character switching? Like, what do you do when like you switch to Trevor for something and it's like, oh, he's in fucking Mount Gordo with the dress on, so you have to like switch to someone else on the fly and do their things. Like, how do you handle that? Like,
I haven't actually speedrun the game in about 2 years. I've been doing no damage runs, so these sort of things I've less had to deal with. But I do follow the speedrunning scene, and I will be getting back into it in the next week. But the developments that have come since I stopped have been insane. It's maybe because you like code and stuff, you'd probably be more interested in it than I. Like back when I used to run, we didn't have people who would look through the code to figure stuff out, but now we have those people. And so when something is found that might be okay or interesting, people will just dig into the code, into how this works, and they can find some really cool stuff. For example, they found a way to basically skip any mission in the game. It's called on mission 0. You kind of start 2 missions simultaneously and progress through one mission, and it causes you to progress through another. And it's very complicated to the extent where making a video on it's probably going to be like half an hour video or something. But what I mean is, all this stuff over the years has been very much so figured out. Like the character switching, for example. After every mission, any character that was in that mission has a consistent switch. If you get a bad switch, you can go into director mode for like a second, and it reconfigures where everyone is on the map. And depending upon the circumstance you find yourself in, certain switches are possible, certain switches aren't. There's still a little bit of randomness with the switching, but as with anything, the more you know about it, the more you can predict and therefore adapt to what's going on. But there isn't that much randomness in it, because all randomness in games is within a certain range. Yeah. You know, once you know that range, you can kind of predict what's going to happen.
Is there like a difference between, are these like bugs that have potentially been left over from like the PS3? Because I know when they updated the game, I'm sure they obviously switch a bunch of these states around, like they recode chunks of the game, but like, is it like, when you speedrun, is it just strictly on like the PS4 base version of the game, PC, whatever current patch that they have?
It's kind of funny actually. The first patch for PC was patch 1.24, and we speedrun on patch 1.27. And probably the 2 biggest reasons for that now is, 1, there's no waves. Like, there's no waves in the entire game, for whatever reason. There's ways to get waves to come back, but any kind of boating section or, where you have to shoot people while you're on a jet ski or whatever, that kind of stuff is so much easier. And you can even do, like, bounce strats, where because there's no waves, you can, like, bounce your boat up and down and stay in the air and go faster. But another thing is, in the newest patch... Oh yeah, because I
gotta re-download the old patch and see it now.
it's
no waves.
It's a weird patch, but there's like hospital warping, where if you fail a mission and then die during the mission fail screen, you will warp to the hospital after the mission ends. So you won't have to, like, at the end of the mission, hold a grenade or whatever and die. You will just automatically warp, like the game will glitch and warp you to the hospital. And that saves a lot of time. And that's, I think, only on patch 1.27. Like, it wasn't on 1.24. It isn't on the newer patches. Another one, there's... sorry if I'm boring you with this, but...
No, it's... I'm surprised that they, like, introduce newer bugs and then, like, it's kind of like a weird Cyberpunk update schedule.
Yeah. During the early days of their newest patches for PC, they fucking hated modders, and they were so keen to crush them out that they in many cases reduced the performance of the game for a couple of patches. But 1.27 just so happens to be good for performance and have these weird glitches that are beneficial in some cases. My favorite... I
mean, now they got legal teams from a lot of mods now. They don't have to worry about destroying the game's raw performance.
Don't change the game, change what the people are doing, of course. But yeah, it's shocking what Take-Two is doing and stuff. I mean, the weirdest one to me was when they sent a cease and desist for a save file that was partway through GTA. I'm like, was that like wrong thing written down?
One, yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. Who can understand Take-Two though? They're just... I don't know.
I feel like the problem is with Take-Two, and so I do like business stuff on the side. That's like my main like job. So like every time I look into like companies to invest and like, you know, throw money at, Take-Two is like ironically the one company that considers themselves the up and coming metaverse company. Like unironically, that's what they actually consider themselves as. Like they consider themselves on Facebook tier or like Epic Games because they think that they're running metaverses with GTA Online and the skeleton that is Red Dead Online. And in a way, they're not wrong, but like you can see the perception of the company going forward, right? Like when GTA 6 comes out, they're more interested in GTA Online Part 2. You know, like, that's what I think.
It's just so because, like, I've talked to people who work at Rockstar and have. Well, no, I haven't talked to that many people. Don't get me wrong, I don't have that many connections. But I know people who've worked at 2K, which is under Take-Two, and people who've worked at Rockstar and stuff. Umbrella, and they say Take-Two is very controlling, and people at Rockstar are very proud of everything that they've made and da-da-da. But it's just, when I look at GTA Online and I compare it to the offerings of other popular titles, it just seems so vanilla. It seems so basic. Like, you've got, like, Apex Legends with 87 different cool functional guns and your sliding rounds, and you've got shields and all that stuff, and Fortnite, all their building mechanics, always releasing new ways to play the game. You've got Roblox and their like child sweatshops making like 57 different new games.
I got like the video on that one. I've been working on that one for a bit. It's insane.
Minecraft got their like 87 different mods and stuff, and then there's just GTA Online, and it's just so simple. And
literally gets by, man, just because it's like a functioning open world.
And it's been around for so long. It's got that it basically was that first mover advantage as well. Like, it was one of the first kind of microtransaction kind of driven things.
Well, I don't think there's anything else like it. Like, I think about anything else like GTA, and I'm like, what, like Watch Dogs Legion Online, like the closest equivalent that I can think of, and it's just like it's not there.
Open world third-person shooter. It is just GTA Online.
I saw your tweets on the new update for GTA Online, and I absolutely can never disagree with that. It's literally like they take, like, because I was literally playing it the other day, like the Franklin. I haven't even gotten that far into it. I've just been doing the specialist stuff. It's so bad with the AI because the AI hasn't gotten better. They just take more shots. Like, I feel like they just want me to buy weapon warehouses and like update like to Mark III assault rifles just so I can actually like kill the enemies. I'm dumping 60 bullets into like a guy wearing a t-shirt and they won't die. Like, it's just no.
Because I don't know how the programming is done, of course, but it's just whenever they release like a new area inside of a building, it seems as though the AI doesn't really understand where they are. Like the limitations of the walls and stuff. So I'll occasionally just see an NPC just staring at a wall for no fucking reason. Yeah. And I'll come in and they'll just still stare at the wall, and I'll be like, you want to pay attention to me or whatever? And I just pop them in the head and move on.
Dude, every time I see that, I'm like, man, I cringe at it for sure. But then I'm like, it is also like a really big game. So if I see pathing issues, like, hey, I'm probably one of the biggest like antagonists to the Cyberpunk 2077 subreddit right now, because the amount of shitting that I do on that game is unprecedented. I've been waiting for that game longer than I ever did a GTA title, and I've been more disappointed than anything playing that title. So it's like, if any game pats and runs better than that, I'm happy.
I heard that they improved it significantly. Not that I'm saying they have as much content as they said they would on release, but is it not better now?
It runs better, I'd say. Like, it operates better, but like the way, so I made this video where I showed the downgrading of it. It runs better because they render less. Like, even on like PlayStation and Xbox, like PC is a little different because like obviously you can just like crank it up to the max settings. But for my thing, I'm like, if you pay $60 for a game, everyone should get an equivalent experience, right? Like PS4s and Xbox One. Like, if you bill it for that target, it should run. So I looked at those versions of the game. They literally removed the traffic, basically. Like, you're driving through imagine driving through downtown Los Santos and not a single car ever spawned. Not a single NPC ever spawned. That's what Night City is. That's what, like, Cyberpunk is. And it's sad. Like, it's not a game anymore. It's just, like, a tech demo that barely even functions. And it functions because they removed everything that taxes the system anyways.
Yeah, I played it for 3 hours near release on PC, and it was very buggy, and it didn't really grab me as a game, but I've heard more good things about it, and I kind of want to try it again. Maybe I won't.
I'd wait until like there's like the next gen update for like the systems, because that's when they're probably going to update it to like 2.0 or some bullshit and like have all the bugs taken care of.
It's not on PS5, is it?
No, it's on PS5, but through the backwards compatibility, I think.
Same thing with GTA.
Yeah. I mean, hey, they're gonna update it for PS5s.
Yeah, I mean, they were gonna update it in November, because that's when expanded and enhanced was meant to come out.
Because I remember I was thinking that the update was gonna add some extra content, but it's literally just it's just GTA at like a higher resolution.
That's
I don't even
think
the frame rate's better.
The funny thing is,
the frame rate update.
Like, they say that they want to separate the single player and the online. And speaking as a person who has watched as the online updates have changed the single player and made it worse over the years, I'm applauding this. Good job, Rockstar. You should have done that like a bajillion years ago, because there's no value really in the connection between the single player and the online. But to do that, they will have to change a significant amount of things. Like there's some changes to lobby you can only do if you either go into creator mode or single player and then go back into online in stupid fucking ways.
Yeah.
You know, so like they must be changing some things. It's just a question of how much they're changing and how easily can they make those changes.
I mean, I just think whatever GTA is right now, they've added so much onto the games online that I think coding wise, it's a fucking mess. Like, remember literally a year ago, we had the one modder, like, just shaved off the store file, like the little online, because it used to, like, he shaved off the loading time by 70%, literally by going into the GTA Online and, like, truncating all of the excess stuff that the game was looking for that didn't even exist. Like, what the fuck, man? Like... There's a modder could do that.
There's a bug like that in single player actually, where if you taxi to a side mission, there's a random chance that the game will get caught in like some sort of loop in which it continues to search for something that doesn't exist. And rather than fix this, they simply made it so if it fails to find that thing 20 times, it just will stop and just load in the game. And so while speedrunning 100%, it'd be like, oh, that fucking long load bug. And you sit there for 2 minutes with a black screen and then eventually let you in the game.
Going through all of the, oh my God.
It's infuriating. But because it's funny because we had to have a debate, like, because the people who know how to code, they can fix this. They could patch it for us. But it's like, do we fix Rockstar's mistakes? Are we really speedrunning the game if we're not? Because the game has that bug in it. We can't just start reprogramming the game to make it easier to speedrun, you know. But
oh my God.
Yeah.
That is such a. I'm a little. That's why, you know, I'm kind of excited that GTA 6 may take a little bit longer, because with all the bugs you're telling me, I can already imagine the Rage engine is probably like, it needs a significant update. It needs like a significant. It needs to be up there with like Epic's Unreal Engine 5. I don't know if you played the Matrix game recently.
I was paid to play it.
Oh, fuck.
Good sponsorship.
That's a really good. That game, dude. I was struggling to identify when it was real time and when it was like CG. You know, like when they showed Keanu Reeves like old in the. I thought for the longest time that was like real time footage, and then I watched a Digital Foundry video and they're like, no, it isn't. And I was like, are you sure? Like, are you I mean, you know.
And it's funny. It's not like good. It's not like they spent 5 years on that or whatever. It was less than a year.
Very small team. Yeah, very small team. It actually was interesting because it collabed a bunch of the top guys. I know that some of the people who worked at the Coalition, so the Gears developers, they helped a lot with the optimization, which I think is really cool. And hey, if that's the future of like game engines now, I'm excited to see what Rockstar comes up with GTA, because like we all know GTA 6 is an eventual like thing. It's just like when they obviously show a teaser for it, and it's going to be like the GTA 5 teaser, guys. Like, it's going to be that thing where we watch the teaser and we're like, oh, this looks amazing. And the thing I will always say about Rockstar is when they show a teaser trailer, the game looks as good. You know, like when Red Dead 2 was teased, I thought they were CGIing it for a bit, and then the game came out and I was like, no, they're not fucking around. This game looks that good.
I mean, what about the recent definitive edition of the trilogy? The trailer made that look a little bit better than the game ended up actually being. Yeah, but I mean, that was, of course, not actually Rockstar. It was Grove Street Games. But I worry about Rockstar these days. But I mean, as long as GTA 6 is good.
Trilogy, man.
Oh yeah, because they don't have the time, because they're all working on they've got one team on GTA 6, a skeletal crew on GTA Online,
and nobody on Red Dead Online.
And which is I feel bad for the people who love that game. I know you love Red Dead.
I love Red Dead Online. Like I loved it when it came out. You know, I was like, man, I was excited. 'Cause I play GTA Online strictly with a friend. Like we have like we've been playing it since day one. So we're like, oh, cool. This will be a new online for us to experience. No fucking update for a year. The most insanely broken economy, and we quit like after 2 months. There was just nothing to it.
It's a shame. It's funny because I have vocally said that I wasn't particularly I didn't particularly love Red Dead 2, and so whenever anyone of any note whispers Red Dead 2 is a good game, I get like 700 clips like, oh look, Mudaha's saying Red Dead 2 is amazing, and I'm like, oh God.
I mean, hey, it's a very long and drawn out game, so I'm just gonna put it out there, like it's not a game you want to start off with if like you want to experience like a game. I'm gonna say Red Dead's more of like a movie. What it is, like that's where I particularly like have a fondness for it. But if you ask me what my favorite like single player experience from Rockstar is still, I'm gonna have to say GTA 5, just because I think this, like GTA 5 is basically one of my favorite movies, like Heat, just in a video game form. So I always love playing it. I mean, to this day, I still drive around Los Santos and I'm still blown away by like the world simulation and everything. So it's like, that's where I'm gonna put it at. Red Dead is like, it's like Uncharted for me, you know? Like, I'll play it, but it's not like I'm particularly enamored with how wide open the open world is, because in reality, it is very cumbersome.
Yeah, I'll say, I'll admit every time that Red Dead 2 is a beautiful looking game and appealed to a lot of people, and and for what it was trying to do, it probably did it very well. It's just, in my mind, it is the game that least wanted to be a game that I've ever seen. It is just a TV show that you control the camera.
It's very, very, no, you're absolutely right, because it's very lacking on like any form of freedom. You literally will sit there and do fucking nothing in the game whatsoever. You like, if Red Dead 2 tells you go into that room and you shoot that guy, if you even deviate slightly, if you open the drawer before you enter that room, it'll fucking give you a mission fail state. And that drove me insane, because like it pissed me off in chapter 1 when I played the game. Like, well, not chapter 1, after you get into like chapter 2, like you get to Valentine and everything. I was so fucking mad, because like it literally, I was like, maybe it's a tutorial, maybe it's some bullshit, maybe like I'm failing. No, the game is literally all the way like that throughout the entire experience. And eventually, you know, it's like, all right, I guess this is a very linear Rockstar experience. I'm gonna have to treat this like the original Red Dead Revolver at this point. Like, it's an open world in name only.
Yeah, I guess they just expected people to be okay with that, because in the free roam, you can do whatever you want and go wherever, and you have that freedom there, but it just wasn't the same for me.
Do you really in the open world though? Like every time I tried doing like outlaw shit in Red Dead 2, I feel like I was so heavily penalized.
Yes.
For doing even the slightest thing. Like I could mug somebody, immediate fucking $5 bounty. You literally could not make money being a criminal in Red Dead 2. You had to literally hunt, skin, and fish in order to make a dime in that game single player.
And it felt like every time I was riding around on my horse through an open field, the horse would hit a pebble and break his leg or whatever. I'm like, come on, man! I want to have the wind in my hair.
Realistic. Yeah, I agree. It does not need to be that real. It was the horse mechanic, and also it's like it's the one game where like you're driving the horse, and it's like you try to make a left turn. You got to have like a good 100 meters before you can make that turn. Otherwise,
I hit so many trees, man. So many trees.
And the thing is, they don't even come up with any way for you to like easily navigate through. I'm not saying make it an Assassin's Creed game. I'm not saying make it that easy. But like, make it a little fucking easier, guys. It doesn't have to be this difficult, especially for like online or anything. Like, we're trying to have fun, and not like bash our heads against. And you get your horse in too much trouble. Make sure you have some horse survivor. Like, it's that real. It's like, you ever heard of that game Shenmue? Like,
yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Red Dead 2 is literally trying to be Shenmue. It's just that's all it is. It's Wild West Shenmue in a lot of ways, because it's just like you got to do everything in a very like methodical way. It's super cumbersome, and it can be annoying.
I mean, people loved it though. People loved it. But I'll always love God of War for taking away it's the Game of the Year award from Red Dead. I much prefer God of War.
God of War, PS4, yeah, it was way better. That's the one time where like God of War, I was like, because I'm not a God of War fan like from the original PS2 days, but when I saw like the PS4 title, I'm like, oh, this shit's looking nice. And then I played it, and I was like, oh, Corey Balrog fucking brought the pain today on development. He knew what he was doing.
I mean, it was even nostalgic for me, because I used to love Stargate back in the day. Not sure if you've seen it, but is it
Stargate
Mike?
Atlantis?
Oh no, the original Stargate with Teal'c and stuff, because he's the same guy who is it Christopher Judge or something? He is the same guy who he voiced Kratos, and just hearing that voice again, I was just like, oh, you know. Anyway, so we should probably play some GTAGuessr.
Yeah, yeah, we should probably get into it. So I'm on the site. Would we do versus mode? And,
yes, versus mode. I need to do some sort of an intro though, so the people on YouTube know that it's starting.
Fair enough.
Hello YouTube. I'm playing some more GTAGuessr, doing another collab. This time with SomeOrdinaryGamers, also known as Mudahar.
How's it going, everybody?
Should we do? I guess maybe you should introduce what content you do. I suppose.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm Mudahar, and I make I just make videos on the internet. Sometimes it can be about computers, malware, virus investigations, you know, some deep web video gaming. Sometimes I can be talking about something completely random. It really is a flip of the coin every day. That's the best way to describe it.
And good stuff it is. But he also loves GTA Online, so hopefully we'll have a good contest here where I can. Honestly, I hope I can win because I'm currently 1 for 3 with these collab versus games. I need to get back to even, so feel free to go easy on me, man.
No, trust me. I'm hoping I can win something. I wasn't doing that good last night when I was practicing.
It's gotten so much harder, dude. I don't do amazing either. But so all we do is go into versus mode. So I'm typing your name and click versus mode.
Okay, yeah, I'm in versus mode right here. Lobby name.
Yeah, I'll make a lobby name of some kind. I don't know. And then pin.
Do you want to just put it in Discord and I'll just copy
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the GTAGuessr is in the chat. Oh, it's not that hard. I disagree. Oh, that is totally not a. That's totally not a Matt lobby name and pin.
Dude, this guy once took a picture of the corner of a tennis court and was like, "Where is this?" I'm like, "There's like 9 tennis courts in the game. Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't press create. I didn't press create. Now I press create.
Okay.
Now you can do it.
Okay.
Okay, we're good. So I pressed refresh and it should appear.
Yeah, here it is. So I'm here right now. Red Dead 2. Users in lobby. Do I just hit start here?
In a second. So the rules are now, I've decided to change a little bit, where we're doing best to 3. Wait, no, I said that incorrectly. We're doing first to 3. So we need 3 points to win. Each game counts as 1 point. How it works is we're both given the same images, and whoever is the best at identifying where those images are in the city of Los Santos, you know, gets more points. And by the end of 5 images, the person with the most points wins the round.
Okay.
So we either play 3 games or 5, I guess.
Yeah, we either, you know, run the entire gauntlet or somebody completely sweeps.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
And start. Oh, I think you have to, like, hit start for us.
So you can see Franklin but near, like, a warehouse?
I'm not in... Oh, no, I'm in start now. It's getting me in. And, yeah, I see him in the warehouse.
This one is pretty easy for me. Because the ones that I know the most are those that have any association with missions in the game. Even slightly, because I've done the missions 1,000 times or whatever with the speed one.
Yeah, I know where this one is, actually. It's by LSIA, if I'm not mistaken. Except it's not near the... You don't mind if I, like, it's not serious enough if we just, like, give answers or, like, you know, talk about it, right? Like, cause
we can talk about whatever you want, as long as you don't use my chat to cheat or something.
Okay, know? No, I have it completely disabled. I know this is, like, at LSIA, because this is where the mission happens, where Michael steals the Buckstar van, if I'm not mistaken.
That is true, yes.
For, like, the Vangelico heist, so that's probably... Oh, I'm close. Okay. I'm like 25 meters away from the target.
Oh, shit. I fucked up. I was too busy.
Oh no!
Because I got 393. I was at the wrong place.
Oh, yeah, because I immediately, when I look in the back, I'm like, that's where I always fuck up the stealth segment where you have to, like, grab the Buckstars, man.
I knew exactly where it was, and because of that, I just went, oh, it must be here, and then I just didn't think about it. Yes, I only got 100 points, since you're way ahead of me now. Okay, I'm taking this seriously now. That was so embarrassing, dude.
No, trust me, I'm gonna screw this one up because I'm almost thinking this is Rockford Hills. Like this is Rockford Hills because I can tell with the maze bank, but like I'm kind of guessing this might be the what is it?
I'm pretty confident.
Golf course. Oh, I'm kind of confident, but
for me, what gives it away is like see the arc, the green arc to his left.
Yeah.
It's a sign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out where the
and I got it wrong again. Holy shit!
I'm trying to. Ah, man, it's kind of tough figuring out where this one is because I'm like trying to go for the. I'm gonna have to go for fucking. This is gonna piss me off if I'm wrong. Actually, no, it shouldn't.
I've been so confident twice and wrong both times. That's so funny.
It can't be here. No, that's the. Okay, so that's the Songbird Shack building. It's probably close to Del Perro if I'm not mistaken. Oh, fuck! Don't worry, I scored 0 points. I was 584 meters away. That was Vespucci.
I was in Del Perro as well.
Oh, we went to the same spot. Because I was thinking it was the sign. Fuck.
Yeah, the sign going into the wharf. I thought it was. So I said I thought there was a sign there, but it's the one going into the dock.
The buildings in the back were screwing with me though for that one. That's one of those. Oh. Wait, this seems like it's in the same place, actually.
Let me see, it's loading for me. A little bit different. I don't immediately recognize this one. No, not that I really ended up recognizing the last two.
Oh, I know where this is. It's definitely close to the Life Invader building.
Are you sure?
You can tell by the absolute right, see? Like, you can see, I think that's the Life Invader building, if I'm not mistaken. That's where you... No? Oh no, it may not be.
Oh,
shit.
I recognize the building in the background, the arches, but
I don't. Man, it's tough because I'm kind of getting like Rockford Hill vibes here. I'm getting like I'm thinking of Vangelicos for some reason. Like it's definitely Rockford Hills.
It's funny
because thinking of the Vangelico.
That building with the half circle on the top and the point. I know I was looking at that yesterday, being like, I have to remember exactly where this is. But I am.
That's Maze. So it's Maze Tower. No, wait a minute. So no, if you look to the left of it, which would be the right on this map, that would be the IAA building to the. No, which one is the IAA building? So you got Maze Tower being the tallest. Oh no, you got the fidget spinner building. So you have the fidget spinner building over here, the Arcadia Towers, and then it would be literally, yeah, we would have to be in Rockford here. You'd have to literally be sitting over there in Rockford.
I'm
gonna be very confident and say this is by the golf course. I'm just gonna put it. Oh, I am 74 meters away. Okay.
You've given me so many hints here, and you could have just destroyed me. And
But that's what I kind of like about it. Like, it's fun figuring this out with somebody. I guess I'm kind of screwing up the whole competition angle, but it's fun. Like I'm figuring it out with you because it's like you've played this with so many hours, and I'm like figuring it out through my single player experience.
What I assumed it was, is this hedge looks like the hedge that's in front of like the you go down to the subway. It is near the Life Invader building. I just don't know which. I guess I'll put it here somewhere. Oh, it's actually in the golf course. What?
Yeah.
Where's the fence for the golf course? What are you crazy? It must just be barely outside of it. God damn.
Yeah, he's like at the very edge of it. Like just it's tough, man. I thought it was I was confusing it with one of the mansions for a minute. I was maybe?
Yeah.
All right, so this one's an interesting one because I know
exactly what this is. This is a death match happens in this area.
Oh. I'll be honest, I'm getting Humane Labs vibes from this area.
That's it.
Okay. I was either doing that or Lago Zancudo, one or the other.
It's a question of can I get exactly on it though, because that's the hard part. Is it further this way? I mean, further right.
That was my favorite heist from the online, the Humane Labs raid.
Do you go up here during that raid? I don't recall doing so.
For the Humane Labs raid, yeah.
Oh, because you parachute in. That's right.
Yeah, you got to parachute in, and then you got to like fucking breach in and do all the cool stuff.
Well, I got 484.
I got 483. We were like literally on each other for that one.
You'd still be ahead of me though, because of the first one, I think.
I'm at 1384 points.
I'm in 973.
Okay. This one, I feel like I know it. Feels like I'm sitting in by.
I think it's just in the. Well, it's obviously in the hills outside Los Santos.
Yeah.
But it's a question
I don't know if it's like. I don't know if it's on the observatory, like just under it, you know.
That was my first thought as well. But it's the exact angle.
I'm really like, so the way that I'm doing it is I'm looking at the Maze Bank Tower and I'm just like judging by the distance and like just.
I suck at that so much. It's hard to get like the exact angle based off buildings and distance. I'm trying to look at like the closer houses to see if I can recognize them, but I don't really, except in like a general way.
Well, the way that I see it is you've got that Vangelico clock tower that you climb up, so it's like just so. I gotta find the Vangelico first. Man, it's so crazy how this city matches so close to like Los Angeles, man. Like it's actually beautiful.
Have you been, or you've seen pictures?
I've been to LA. Like we were there like November, and so I was literally on Sunset over here. And now the more I look at it from the top, it's literally that. Like it's the exact road. Fuck, man, this is tough. This is getting.
I'm gonna end up just stabbing it somewhere because I can't.
I'm gonna go with a very confident near the observatory. Oh no! I scored 0. It's not the observatory.
Isn't it? Well, I'm still gonna go around there because it's really.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. It's fucking. It's just close to the casino now.
Yeah, I can see it now.
It's tough to gauge it, man. Like it's because the thing about it is like these locations are not necessarily locations we're always going to either in the single player or in the online. So it's like
I don't know if it's racist to say, but all grass looks the same, right?
All grass really looks the same. It does. It also kills the performance too.
Yeah, true.
I'm there.
I got 973.
Okay, I got 1384.
0.1 to you, man. On your way to a clean sweep, man.
All right. Well, let's see how the next one goes.
Okay.
This is actually really like I thought it was gonna be super competitive, but like we're just trying to like figure it out together now.
Well, let's do this one super competitive then. Let's see how we go. Cause okay, you want to give me a few hints though.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, I'm gonna run some ideas by you, and they might be completely wrong, but
this does not look. I don't recognize this at all, man.
This is like I'm looking at okay, so this is gonna sound kind of like I don't know if this is racist, but this seems like a poorer section of Los Angeles. You know,
I mean,
a little bit.
Yeah, certainly. But where? Like a.
Well, it's got to be one of the bridges somewhere, and you got to have like a sight line of a. You know what I think it is? I think it might be. It might actually end up being like here. By La Puerta. It might be by the Maze Bank Arena.
Yeah, because it's the poor area there. But what bridge could it be? Could it be one of the very large bridges? Maybe. Like the one leading out to the ocean? Maybe. Because it can't be that one that's facing the wrong way. I think this is the only one that kind of syncs up. Do I remember?
Oh. Well, I mean, it's. I'll give you the one hint. It's definitely not the poorer part of Los Santos.
Really?
That was way off. No, it's not.
I guess it was because of the graffiti that gave you that.
Yeah, the graffiti made me assume.
Well, then I'm just cheating by not going there. But like,
it's definitely it's got to be the bridge. I mean, really, the best way to gauge it is probably that distance of the building. So you're probably on the outskirts of town, right? Like that's.
I got it perfect because I cheated. Because you told me, and then I was like, well, then it has to be another bridge that's fairly small that's faced in that general direction. And it
can't be South Los Santos. They're poor. It's got to be Vinewood. They have money there.
It was near the casino, like, but
I don't even believe that. I think this might be a troll on our end from GTAGuessr. This doesn't make sense, man.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
This one is. I know this one.
Yeah, because parking lot of it is because it's hard for me to describe places because I know them, but I don't know the names of places because I never really have to communicate. I'm pretty sure it's just the the theater thing where Jay Norris gets his head blown off. I think that might be this, maybe, because it's got the...
That might be the one.
Oh, okay, it is 100% it. I've given it to you completely as a payback for the last one, because you can see the stairs in the background, the same color.
Yeah, I was actually kind of thinking it may have been... Well, at first thought I was thinking maybe it might have been like somewhere close to the Quartz Center for some reason. But it was not, and yes, I am 43 meters away from the target. I am at the Jay Norris. I didn't know Jay Norris was shot there, though. I didn't know that was the location.
Yeah. Although, of course, if it's actually just a video, he doesn't actually get his head blown off or whatever. But I got 440. Like I was wrong side of the parking lot. Okay, well, no more telling each other the answers. We gotta go competitive. Get the YouTube people.
Yeah. This is tough, man. I can't figure this one out. It's the first time I've ever actually seen this building.
Yeah.
In the game.
It's funny how you drive past all these buildings and you just never take in where they are or what they say. I mean, it's in the kind of, because obviously it's a shop, so it's in the kind of Vitcher shopping district thing, but other than that, I really
love how they put all the effort into it too. Like I've never seen this building before, but it's kind of crazy how like they have like all the parody locations for literally every thing you might be able to find in Los Angeles.
It's funny because the building in the background, I've been there for some reason with Facts and Glitches. Like it was near an Outer Bounds or something, but I don't remember it exactly. I'm just gonna end up having to stab somewhere. I'm gonna hope for the best.
The Richard District doesn't feel like it's.
I might prefer this way.
I'm gonna be real. I think it might be like maybe somewhere in like Little Seoul, if I'm not mistaken. I just gotta find like the road. Really, I think it's here. All right, this is gonna be a stab in the. Oh, it was close. It was close. Kind of. Not really. I was like a whole street off.
Well, I'll go where I was guessing then. I was way off. I got no points. Yeah, because I thought about going more right away from Michael's house in that area, but I should have. I remember being in there now. Yeah, fuck, that sucks.
I was blown away. I didn't even recognize that building. This I think I completely. If I'm not mistaken,
you completely recognize this random dirt road. How long have you been playing this game?
No. I recognize this dirt road because, like, I'm thinking of Pack Standard Heist. So it's like, this is the convoy attack location. If I'm not completely mistaken, this feels like, no, I have to be right here. This seems like...
My experience with picking dirt roads is I go, this is definitely this dirt road from this mission, man. And I pick it. I'm like, okay, no, it was not. I'm wrong like 100% of the time. I'm going to be largely just taking a stab at it because I can't see any
I think I will be
stuff.
too. Well, it's a dirt road, so it's got to be in this direction, man. It's got to be somewhere here. No, holy fuck, I was totally wrong there.
they all look the same. I'm trying to like match the bend. I wish it showed a second bend because then you could, because like a lot of roads have a singular bend but not two.
I mean, this makes sense from the answer that they're giving, but man, I've seen that like texture so much on the Pack Standard Heist that immediately that's where my brain went to, and it's so hard to deviate off of that once you're so confused. All right, this one I think.
Whoa, I haven't guessed it. Give me 1 second. I'll go with here because the bend looks kind of like it, maybe. Oh, I got points. I was one road off. That was pure luck because like the road looks completely different from the one I guess. I just happened to guess in the middle of the map.
Oh, that one. No, like I legit, I was so convinced that it was somewhere near the mountains, and
Oh, I know exactly where this is.
that's where I make
100%.
this one. I can tell by the mountain. Obviously, it's Polito Forest. I'm just wondering where the little. I know this is the mission where you have to like take the supercars that you stole for Weston with like Lamar. But this is one of the stops, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like it's on that pathway.
It is on the mission Pac-Man. You go past this.
Oh.
Why am I okay? I was again just a little bit off, but I was in the ballpark.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to. It's not that I'm stabbing my way into it. It's like I'm trying to find the top of this like one. I know this is a singular house. Is the thing, right? Like it can't. It's not part of some. You know the thing that's really fucking with me here. The Polito like the where you rescue Lamar, the little weed factory for the ballas. That's what's screwing with me right now.
Yeah.
But like I'm also like, oh, there's no like parking lot there, so we're gonna have to probably take a gander. No, it's not Polito. It's well, it might be like here. Let's go for that one. And oh wow, holy shit! I was 16 meters away.
Oh, nice. Because I mean, like when you said the lumberyard, I'm like, oh, well, you're in the ballpark, regardless of where you put it. Near there, you were gonna get some points.
Yeah, because I was literally like, it's just that mount. That's the one mountain I recognize. Because we know that's Chiliad and that's it. But like when you look at Mount Gordo and like all these other ones, that's where it's like,
yeah,
they literally just all look the same.
What'd you get?
988.
Oh, I got 1656. I won a game. I won a game, chat.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right, 1-1. Perfect.
1-1. Okay, let's go again.
All right, let's bring it.
Oh my god, I know this immediately, and there's no way that you know it.
I know this because this is one of the construction facilities by Vespucci.
Yes. I mean the big hint, because I like you, is see the C4 there? That's glowing? It's where you pick up C4.
Oh. Yeah, this is like where you do all the setups for one of the online like missions, like for what is it, the casino, the casino job or whatever, the casino heist, because like this is where
I don't recall specifically. Like I know there's stuff you do in this area, like
because you gotta pick up like power drills or something, and it's just like
the reason why this is significant in the speedrun is because for multiple categories you want explosives as soon as possible, and so you pick up this C4 while driving past with Lamar at the beginning of the game.
Oh, okay. And it's just like, so this is one of those like key like fucking explosive locations you gotta have, and this is like you do this because like you don't want to like fucking waste time going to like ammunition or like finding a
and
like,
you don't have the money.
Like, pick things up along the way
because you start with $150 with Franklin.
Oh, this is like really early game stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that one little shot in the, not really a shot in the dark, but I know it's in that general area. It's hard to tell with like the rooftops of these. Here it is. This I think will be. Oh yeah, right there. Okay, 21 meters away.
I got -7 away, as in like I was perfectly on it to the extent that it can be a minus number. That was a boon to me. Someone's like, adding stuff I know.
Do when you play the game, do you like? I assume initially you had to probably put the pin on like in the map screen the entire time for certain locations, but now it's like you probably know this city more than your own, because that's how I feel.
Oh, absolutely.
Santos. I know more about Los Santos streets than I know streets at this point.
Yeah. This one also is not a hard one for me, but I've never stood exactly where Franklin is standing, but there's a letter here. See, I'm saying this now, but multiple times while playing, I've said I'm so confident I know exactly where this is, and I'm wrong. But I'm pretty confident I know this one.
Trying to figure out. Well, it's obviously in a. No. It's
there's
on the
a
coast.
deathmatch map here as well for online. And at least as far as I'm aware, like if I'm correct, then it's here.
Man, where is this one mansion? Well, it's definitely not out in Blaine County, that's for sure. I'm looking at all the little mansions out in like Chumash right now. I think I have it. Right there. I'm gonna go for that one. Go for broke. Ooh, okay. I was in a general area, but yet far off.
I was perfectly on because it's the resort.
Yeah, I was in like I looked into Chumash and it's like I just like as soon as I clicked and I hit start, I saw this bigger pool and I'm like, oh, it's probably the one.
If I hadn't picked up a letter here like 100 times, trying to find locations based off pools is so hard because everyone in this fucking city has a pool.
Everyone in this fucking city has got like something.
I was legit flying around trying to determine like what areas have what different types of pools, but it seems so random. There's so many pool designs. There must be like 100 separate pool designs in this game.
That's honestly like a really cool thing. Like the houses, like in typical open world games, they don't like prefab it. Like, well, a lot of them do prefab. Like, I think Rockstar's the only one where like it feels like every single house and mansion that they ever made.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Even though they're just exteriors, like man, they fucking put an entire guy to like build one exterior. Like if somebody was playing Sims the whole time.
You can go look at individual houses and find like unique features found on no other houses, just like random stone pillar tower things, and it's crazy. It's a shame that there's no major use to them, so no one really like looks at them very often.
I mean, I always wish that at some point they would actually really allow us to have like proper like mansions in the game, like at some point. But
like 5M does that kind of stuff, but it's nothing I've really got into.
So good.
You do 5M?
5M is. I just recently got into it because I was doing a GTA video, but there was so I thought it was really a role player thing, but then I saw all the other game modes like zombie modes and everything. Man, this is fucking amazing.
It's funny. You can make great maps if you have a dedicated group of people who won't leave at the second they die and stuff, right? The maps you can make for a dedicated, experienced audience is different than the maps that you can make for like a casual audience like Rockstar has to. Anyone who's doing 5M has to be really fucking committed. So you get some cool features and stuff.
Yeah. And also, I'm glad Rockstar is unable to shut that beauty of a fucking mod down.
Unable? I mean, I don't think
they're able to. Well, I think the legalities around it. Well, the legal issues around a lot is like how many of their core assets are you using. But like, since that's purely a reverse engineered design, you know, it's like they like you can scare them, sure, but like legally, it's still on their side. It's like the same thing with RE3 and RE.
I was about to say,
you know, like. I honestly think like it's more of a scare tactic still because I believe that those guys, because from who I talked to, they said they had a clean room design, so it doesn't seem like they can legally get fucked, you know. But
they're fighting it. It would be very interesting to see if they win it.
I mean, if Take-Two wins, it'll ruin modding precedent, at least legally, and that scares the shit out of me. This one's tough, man. Like I'm putting it in like Ratton Canyon, but I know that it's like the dirt road thing. Immediately in my head, I'm like there's another waterfall just by Zancudo.
For me, it's like I think of the one waterfall that I know in the game, which is one which has a collectible at the bottom of it, and if it isn't that one, I'm fucked. You know? I'm in Tonga Valley, that kind of area, and it's funny because I've never said Tongva Valley. I've never said Tongva Valley in my life. It's only because of GTAGuessr that I know the names to any degree.
Yeah, no, you're, I'm looking at some of the names right. Like, I don't know Banham Canyon was a thing, but, I mean, I drove my Kuruma there plenty of times and had it blown up successfly.
Did you take a guess?
I took a guess and I was completely off the fucking mark.
I got points. I got 405. I don't know if it's actually the one with the collectible, but it was near enough to it that I got some points.
Yeah, you had Tongva Valley, and as soon as I saw that, it's there. Ooh, this one I know. This is.
Wait. No, I do know it. I do know it. Well, I don't know the exact place, but because I recognize a close feature to Franklin, I have a decent chance of getting some points. If I can find it on the map.
I noticed the Krastenberg Hotel, and that's kind of what I need.
Oh, true,
to see.
true.
So I'm gonna say that this.
For me, it's see all the orange houses down there. That's what is it? A mission Franklin does with Beverly in single player, one of his side missions where you're taking a picture of two people having sex. Yeah. But for me, it's which building is he standing? I guess it's not this. I guess it'd have to be this, but like.
You know what I'm gonna do right now in my head is like I'm role playing like a Pacific Standard heist right now in my head. Like literally, I'm going into the bank, and as I'm like stepping out, I'm like trying to like piece through my like how we do the heist typically. And because I know these houses literally by there, it's just like that's what I'm doing. First I have to find Pacific Standard, so I'm like looking for my house. And
yeah, often when I'm trying to find stuff, I'll be like I'll mentally in my head start one of the single player missions and run through it to figure out locations.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do with Pacific Standard right now. I'm like, oh, there's a building.
This might be my best game that I've had in like a bajillion years because I got perfect again.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. I gotta step it up just a little bit here. Oh, this is not. Wait. Where's the? Fuck. Recognize. All right, this is gonna be like either a fucking slam dunk or it's gonna be like a stab in the dark right now.
I mean, you're definitely getting points if you recognize the Krastenberg Hotel. It's just a question of how many.
Oh, okay. I was 301 meters away. Okay.
I still got something. I'm just give me 1 second. I forgot to put my giveaway link on my video. People are telling me.
Oh, no problem.
Just
What the fuck is this place?
Thank you, chat.
That would be a.
Okay. Yeah.
I am a little.
No, I think I know it only because the pool's empty. I mean, if there are other empty pools in the game, I don't know of them. There's only one place in the entire game that I know has empty pools, and probably in part because of there's an out of bounds here.
Okay.
A very complicated out of bounds. Like you have to like walk all over the walls and stuff. It's funny because
out of bounds meaning like you just fall through the crack or something.
Oh yeah, there's heaps out of bounds. As a matter of fact, for my Facts and Glitches series, I for the intro and outro, I show an out of bounds because they're not interesting enough to be their own little segment. But while I'm doing my intro, I like fall out of bounds in different places. And I've heard, I don't know if it's actually true, that Rockstar does watch those videos, and or they say maybe it's a coincidence, but after I release those videos, those out of bounds suddenly become patched or get death
don't
walls.
doubt that's a thing.
Yeah, and like stop using the out of bounds map. We like hiding it from oppressors and shit.
Yeah, they fucking. I'm sure when you show it, because it's like those same glitches probably exist in the online as well, and they're like, not today.
I'll give you a clue. I was way off. I was 110% off. There are other empty pools in the game.
Okay.
Didn't
like
know that.
They can't be the only pool in LS that was completely empty.
Oh yeah, I know of no other ones. I could see if I doubted myself for a moment there, I could have looked in the background, done some triangulation. I'm like, no, fuck that shit. I know every empty pool in Los Santos. Come on now, I've played this game for 9,000 hours. How would I not know them all?
See, like I'm at the Krastenberg Hotel for this one because I know he's on a high rise somewhere. He's on a high rise. I recognize one of those I recognize the poster on the not the poster but like the mural on the wall in the distance. And it's like I'm trying to like.
You recognize that mural, really?
I recognize that mural, and I think I recognize it to like sunset in the game, or like I recognize it from like the trailer actually from like the game.
That's
Like the
some good
original
memory then.
2.
The advertisements in this game, they're not even really advertisements, but my mind just blocks them out. I don't remember them, even when they're funny.
272 meters. 950 on my end this time.
Points wise?
Yeah, points wise,
I got 1905, and that's just brutal for you. I got so lucky with those placements.
Fuck. No, this one is like, it's getting tough. All right, 1 to 2. All right, let's
1 to 2. Let's go. I'm
right,
playing for the win.
5-rounder.
Playing for the draw.
All right, let's go. Wait.
I'm getting such good RNG right now. This is crazy. I swear. I go back and watch the other episodes, and it's like it'll be dead in the middle of like GT Online
like
heist or something. But the reason why I know this one is because there's an out of bounds here.
Oh. And you're like, that's where like the familiarity all kicks
facts
in.
and glitches, yeah.
This I think I know. I'm just gonna put it down. Yes, I'm 12 meters away.
Oh, nice. I mean, but for me, it's more a question of can I get exactly on it?
See,
Because
like,
it's
for
the
me,
parking
I
garage.
recognize. I literally, yeah, like I recognize this all the GT Online shit that I've poured in like hundreds of hours. So like I know this is like where the first heist in the game. You're like, this is where you steal the armored Kuruma.
Yeah.
So like that's where it is. I like otherwise I was kind of the Pacific Standard where like you're stealing the hack vans or something and you're running away with those. I thought that, but I'm like, oh, there's no like, you know, van in the there's no like truck in the back.
Fuck!
And it's not by there.
The second I pressed it, I'm like, wait a second, isn't it more right? I got 419 points, but I shouldn't have been off. Like I should have thought about it more. I know it's in that corridor. Shit.
Oh, this one. Oh, this one right here. I know this from the single player where like you do the Trevor Strangers and Freaks.
Oh, that's true.
Like,
yeah.
the tourists. Oh no, but you know what it also too. This is like literally you always drive into this like area in the initial part of the game, like when you're doing the Franklin Lamar mission and you gotta like escape the police for the first time. So it's in that general area. It's downtown.
It is. You know why I know this area? Because I die a lot in the game.
Oh, right here.
because it's the hospital.
Oh, this. Oh, okay.
I've died thousands of times. I know this place more than any other place in the game.
I know the one hospital in the game where it's like I know like where the Mount Sinai one is by Vinewood, because that's where every time I die in the game, that's spawn in.
Oh yeah, because when you die in online, you just spawn in a random location, don't you? You don't spawn at hospitals.
It depends. No, just for single player. Like every time I played the single, it's always near Sinai. Because I'm always like, anytime that I think I do die, it's like always on like the east side of the map. No, sorry, the west side of the map where like Michael's house is. So it's just like right there, like Mount Sinai Hospital. And I know there's 3 of them in the general area, but like, so like right here, I'm like looking at downtown, so I know that's where the Maze Tower is.
It is weird. I think someone made a map of like what hospital you warp to depending upon where you die. It's not what you'd expect. Like it isn't like equal areas will put you at certain hospitals. It's like one will do like a small area, another one will do a large area. It's it's not surprising that the average person doesn't spawn here a lot. But when I'm dying as much as I do, like in chaos and all that shit, you know.
Yeah, fuck, that's good. I mean, like that's the kind of stuff when I like see you attempt in like a speedrun, I'm like, when I first saw you do the OHKO, I was like, man, this guy's really playing a game where like the enemies have like the aim of Delta Force operators the entire game. Good fucking luck. That's what I was like, man, you're putting it out there. You're really see like right here. I'm trying to like figure out. Oh no, I'm glad to see it like fucking seen all the way through to the end. I was like, man, that's gonna like drive anybody. Because when playing the online version of the game, you're like, shit, you know, it's like the enemy, like even the LSPD, like when they're drunk off their ass, are still able to headshot me in the car. And I know they're just as bad in the fucking single player. So it's like, take one hit, you're gone. Like every time I play a single player mission, I'm like, you do take damage. So it's like, I'm like, you really gotta take good use of really every advantage the game gives you. I don't want to take a shot in the dark here because I recognize the opening where you fly a helicopter above for the last heist to like pick up gold. Fuck. Fuck. This is definitely no. Yeah, we're gonna have to kind of shoot a little bit here. I'm gonna have to. No, not there. Oh, this is. I feel like I'm so fucking close. Well, I'm in the general area. I think I'm gonna have to submit it there. Oh, okay. 247 meters away. Shit.
At least you got something.
Yeah.
Screwed up.
As long as you're in the neighborhood.
Getting points is kind of my goal for every one of these. As in, like even perfection is great, but like as long as I can say I recognize basically where I was. Oh, this is an easy one.
This one. Yeah, I dropped off the supercars here for my boy Devin Weston. I know this place, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no.
Wait, what did you say? No, that is not correct.
No, not that. No, it's another fucking thing. Now it's also a GTA. One of the Series A heists that nobody fucking does. You're like picking up trash, and like this is genuinely one of the places you go to. It's like Vaga's territory or something.
Just asking, you are, because yeah, you're definitely recording your mic. I just asked because you cut out like every minute or so for like a word.
It might be Discord. I'm recording it on a separate track.
Yeah, so fine, because I can understand what you're saying, but for the video, of course, good. And that's why we do the recording, because Discord is not reliable sometimes.
Oh, Discord is. For like lately for the podcast stuff that we're doing, like we had like people have been giving us so much advice on like how to. We just decided to go with like studio grade shit, like fucking just to give ourselves like peace of mind.
Yeah.
Because some of the Discord bots for recording, it's like you do it, you try it, and like it cuts out, and like the audio is never there, and I don't know, man. It's YouTube stuff. People who don't do it, people who don't understand the hair pulling nature of like when a file goes bad or an audio track doesn't record. Dude, that first cryptocurrency video that I made where I was doing the save the kit stuff, I recorded it first and I didn't hit the record button on my microphone. So I like beat myself. I know. And then I re-recorded the whole thing again.
Yeah, your thing with CoffeeZilla, yeah?
Yeah, that was a fucking insane investigation, man. Like to this day, that was the one time where like through this entire like financial investigation shit where I was like, man, I kind of feel like this is where the life is on the line type of shit. Because when you duck so deep into like the CSGO scamming pool, you always find out that it's just loaded to the brim with like actual mobsters, like no joke, actual criminals.
Yeah, because like it was all Russian gambling stuff and all that.
Yeah, there was so the biggest concern for it was like all those CS:GO websites that we ever came across. They were just effectively, they were run by the Russian mob. Like a lot of them, and I guess maybe that's a thing in Europe. Like it's a lot of money to be making, but like. I mean, initially we were kind of, I was kind of like freaking out a little bit. I didn't want to like get away, but then I thought to myself, I'm like, it's not really my fault. Like if I picked one and I was super far off the mark. No, I scored some points. I was in South Los Santos.
This is the only shopping center that I can recall. As a matter of fact, I've failed because there's another shopping center in Blaine County and I failed to identify that multiple times. But this one I know because this is like in the center of the game. You drive by it quite a few times.
Yeah, it's in the city and everything.
Because like where else are shopping carts?
Yeah, there's just literally one outside. This one we know. This one's not terrible. No, this one I know.
Yeah, I know this one too. I'm surprised at how kind the game has been because recently it's changed so that. If people watching the video want to do this as well, you can submit your own locations to GTAGuessr. They're not handpicked by, well, the guy who runs the site does still look through them to make sure they're good and set in the right location. But I'm sure he, after making hundreds, became a little bit bored with making the same boring locations, the same easy locations. So he would make a lot of hard ones. But a lot of these are probably coming from just people submitting basic locations because they want to do their first couple to the website, and that's why they're a bit easier than the ones that he would do.
Yeah, this one I recognize. It's one of like the key bridges in the game.
If I'm correct, it is near the police station.
Ooh. It is in fact it's actually no, I was 268 meters away from that, but shit. It was the police station.
No, actually, I was wrong, I think. I put it near the police station, and it was the other one. away from the police station.
Oh, it was like, yeah, it was two streets north of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have thought about it more. God damn it. I have a hard time distinguishing the different bridges, honestly.
Yeah, it's really the landmarks that go off with. Oh, we know this one.
Yeah. I know this one.
Yeah. I know the subway is real because that's the best way. LSPD. So. However,
under which bridge is it though? That's my problem.
That's where I'm kind of questioning too.
Like,
it's definitely under like a Mainer bridge. It's like
I can't tell if it's thick enough for like the double bridge or not. It's
no. Wait a minute.
I think it's pretty thick.
I think it's this one. Ooh, 117 meters away. Okay.
I was 89 meters away.
Okay, and that brings our final total here to at least I'm 1534.
I was 2206. I won a game. I swear to you, you got really unlucky, dude. That they were just good for me and not good for online people.
But see, that's the beauty of it though too. It's like fucking. I feel like now I've learned like we all experience this game so fucking differently compared to one another. Like if you're in the hundreds of hours on the online. Seen the entire world so differently than somebody who's relegated to the single player side.
For me, the first 5,000 hours that I put into speedrunning was probably less impactful for me learning the map than like the following 4,000 hours where I did no damage, pacifist, and facts and glitches. Like the amount of times there where I was like, oh, there's an out of bounds here. Wouldn't have been able to do that if I was just a speedrunner. But like you talk to like role players and stuff, and they have different things that are significant than me. And if you play online, half the time you're like, oh, I remember this heist and I remember this heist. None of the heists you mentioned, I remember at all. I've done them. I don't remember them at all.
Yeah, you see, like, I don't know how much you'd like done the heist, but like for me, I've probably done each and every single one of them at least like 100 fucking times. Like I'm not even exaggerating on that. It's like we grinded a lot on GT Online. Like.
And you kind of have to get the money. I've done each of them like once, I think. And a lot of them are good, certainly. It's just, with modders and DDoSing and all that stuff. I mean, not DDoSing isn't as big an issue thing now because I have a VPN and stuff, but the amount of effort...
It's a shame you even need one for one of the biggest online made.
Yeah,
It's like, fuck. Yeah. Even if you don't have a VPN, I've finally found something even fucking scummier. It's like every time in the heist, and this is always after a major update, like if you're a content creator and you've ever like shown your like Rockstar ID or like username, you're fucked. Like every update, somebody will jump in and like isolate your session and like ruin your games. It's just not a fun experience. And I don't know, maybe GTA 6 will fix it. But if the problem exists in Red Dead Online to this day, then no.
Every defense I gave to Rockstar where I was like, look, I guess they rushed online because they weren't sure if it was going to be successful and stuff and blah, blah, blah. The next time round, they'll do better. When they released Red Dead Online and had all the same fucking issues, I'm like, well, okay, maybe that wasn't the reason.
Yeah, maybe they just really didn't give a fuck.
I should cap off this video and we can keep talking if you like, but yeah, so finally, guys, I won a game. I'm 2 for 2. Thank you, Mudaha, for showing up and giving me an easy win.
I did try my best on that one, but you got the RNG.
you did good. Trust me. Your score here is better than scores that I've had in other collaborations even recently. And trust me, you're way better than everyone in chat. Don't let chat tell you they're getting 2500s. They're getting like 1200s every time. Trust.
Yeah, no, this is like a seems for sure, but like I feel like we did way better. I mean, I'm glad games like this exist, like GTA and like Red Dead and everything, because such good they're such well designed, detailed open games. You can actually do this, and like people can actually have like a competition. Like I really don't think you can do this in other titles for sure. Like especially with like the general lack of fucks given by the industry in that regard.
Yeah, the attention to detail in both games was truly impressive, and I can see why Rockstar takes such pride in these worlds.
I feel like though, if you did Red Dead 2 GeoGuessr, I don't know if that exists, but like that would be significantly fucking harder than what we just did. Because at least here we have a city to base landmarks off. There we have fucking trees and hills. And maybe
Exactly. I'm willing to concede immediately that you'd beat me. I think
on Red Dead?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, well, I mean, with the way you describe how much you enjoy this game, I'm sure I'd have a fighting chance. Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you guys like the video, be sure to like and subscribe and all that jazz. Who knows how much that's important these days, but still do it if you want. And you check out Mudahar's stuff. He has some good content. Subscribe to him. And yeah, have a good one, everyone.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, it's a good video.
That was a good one. I'm just gonna end the record here on my end, just so just make sure that everything's fine here.
Sure thing.
It should be. That's like a fucking 12 gig file. That's fine. Expected it. There it is. Oh yeah, it came by just fine. Everything worked here.
Cool. What? So what do you think of the NFTs, my guy?
Oh man, the NFT cringe. Ooh. Well, I think the technology is cool for NFTs. I think like the idea of having like blockchain ownership may like alleviate the idea of like, because that's the thing, right? Like if you own a product, right? Like if you own a game or something digitally, it's tied to a server. But if you can own it on a blockchain, maybe that allows you to have a permanent license for the game, never not be blocked. However, that's like me being really nice. When I see people selling fucking monkeys and like CryptoPunks, it's an absolute waste of my time. The only people that are investing in it are that are trying to scam money out of their fan base. That's it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it all looks like garbage to me, and I was just curious if you had a different perspective. When you used the word cringe, I was like, that's all I need to know. I'm on the same page.
It's just like I get so pissed online because you get this weird sort of like crypto bro investing culture, and it's like, as somebody that does that for a living, like this is my job, this is how I make my bread, you know, literally investing and making good use of money. When I see people throwing hundreds of thousands of dollars on JPEG files and pretending like they're actually gonna be worth something, I'm fucking torn. I'm blown away in my mind. And you gotta talk to these people, and they try to convince you, and I'm like, dude, I'm not the average dipshit that you're trying to like goad hundreds of thousands of dollars out of. That's not the market, you know?
It's like once you're invested in that shit, the nanosecond you admit that it is shit, you may as well just burn your investments, right? They have to keep trying to hype it to get themselves, they have someone else. We want to pass the bag to someone else so that they can get their earnings. And
that's the thing with it, right? Like if I buy $100,000 in monkey JPEG, the only way that's ever going to be worth something is if I sell it to you. Like if I convince you right now, you know, fucking Matt, this is an amazing investment, you should get it, and you gave me more than I spent, then yeah, I'm a fucking genius. I'm also a scumbag scam artist.
You can do that with literally anything. There. Literally anything can be done that way. NFTs aren't anyway special, except the. Wasn't there a time where you added blockchain to like your name or something on the stock exchange, and it would just go up like a bajillion % because everyone just so hyped about this technology?
They used to have BitClout. Oh, I covered that BitClout. That was one thing where like you probably too. I might even have one, basically site, and they would, so there's two actual examples, one you may know. So BitClout used to actually take random people like on Twitter, so it would be like Elon Musk's Twitter account. They would give it like a speculative value.
Oh yeah.
And like people could invest in Elon. So like they would literally profit off of Elon's face being inside like this BitClout service. But like Elon didn't have any fucking clue. He didn't claim to do anything about it. And that was it. It was just a really shitty way of like investing in somebody's social media like presence. The other one, I know you have to know about this, is when like they had Twitch clips, so they would take people's Twitch clips and just NFT them. That site lasted for no time at all because Miskiff covered on it. He was like, this is really scammy.
I saw that somewhere. I think I did see that Miskiff video. Yeah, not that I watch a lot of Miskiff, mind you, but it was just...
I'm sure that they may have taken your clips too and probably thrown it on there and tried selling it as an NFT, because they would take literally any popular, like every creator, and like the way that it worked was like, because I assume like when you stream GTA, you're probably going to be at the top GTA list, right? Like you're going to be up there.
Yeah, up there. I mean, maybe top 10 maybe.
Well, regardless, if you're in the top 10, that's like you're up there, and like when you're up there, they'll like randomly pull clips and everything, and they'll take it and they'll just throw it in, and they probably made money off of like a bunch of people. They probably made money off a bunch of people without even knowing. And none of that money came back to the creator. It was just people taking your Twitch clips, somehow throwing an NFT on that, or like, you know, putting it on the blockchain and selling it to people for no reason.
I wonder how much money they made, considering, well, you know that Ubisoft NFT thing that happened recently, and they got into, well, a lot of negative PR for it. Quartz or something. Apparently they only made like 12 sales or some shit.
Yeah,
like,
that's the video I'm covering. Actually, I've been like researching the entire like transaction list on that.
Oh, man.
It's actually slightly less than that. I think it's somewhere around like it's actually less than $1,000 that they've ever actually like that was actually ever traded in terms of volume. It's
and
so
all
bad.
that
like,
negative PR for that. All that for a bit of water or whatever.
And you think after that backlash they wouldn't attempt it, and that was it. Like, but one of their chief, the CEO, is like, that's just the beginning, guys. I don't know, like, I don't know why we're pushing this technology so hard, considering the use case for it is so poorly handled. Like, they were literally selling you a gun skin. And like, I believe some of the NFTs were so bad with the gun skins, like they were so, like, you, even if you bought one of the NFTs, you still have to play dog shit Ghost Recon game for like 600 hours to even use it. And no poor soul should play Ghost Recon point for more than at least 6 hours.
I mean,
like 600 is terrible.
The skin market for CSGO has existed and flourished without NFTs all this time. I mean, I don't see how the NFT really helps, because, I mean, sure, you have it, you know, independent of the game or whatever, the item, but the item only really has value in its association with the game. It's not like a gun skin in CSGO would be compatible with any other game unless the developers specifically made it so it works, you know?
See, like, that would be a cool NFT idea, right? Like, imagine if you could have one gun skin and it would work between Rainbow Six Siege, Counter-Strike Go, like a lot of these.
Oh, people pretend it does, and that's I've heard people say, but it doesn't, because the code or whatever doesn't make sense for a different game.
Yeah. There's no way that you can like cross like game share any of this kind of stuff. You could do that. Is it worth spending hundreds of dollars on a fucking gun skin in a video game? Well,
no.
Maybe I think the problem is it's like the thing that really aggravates me is.
No, so like, you're cutting it. We gotta restart the call. Let me restart the call and see if it gets better.
Okay.
Go.
Well, I think like what I was getting is like you have basically like a group of rich guys who are complete scumbags who jump into this market and they try to convince people like, this is the thing with influencers, right? Like when an influencer peddles you an NFT or a crypto idea, people think like, oh, it's the viewer's fault. Don't get me wrong, the viewer's fault is definitely there, right? Like you should definitely do your check and balance. But like, imagine if me or Matt came up to you and we told you, hey, this is a pretty solid investment. Now, I'm not going to like speak for everyone here, but me and Matt, I think we do pretty comfortably compared to the average person. That in itself invokes some level of trust that can immediately be brought over to the viewer. Like, you know what I mean, right? Like people can,
people like you. People can like you as power social relationships or the jazz. They want to support you in the thing that you're doing, and it's just taking advantage of it. It's terrible, especially these people who are doing even better than you or me. People making, $10 million just off ad revenue and shit, and are still doing these scams. Disgusting.
You got people making, like, we're adult kind of creators, so we get fucked in the ad pool, but you got people who are like the friendly on the best pools on YouTube. They're fucking killing it on Twitch, and like here's the thing: these guys make multi-millions. I'm not even. Some of these guys can that's how great some of the like sponsor deals can go. And these guys are even out there fucking trying to hype up a new crypto or like hype up some new NFT. And until, of course, there's like actual regulation, they're just gonna keep doing it. I get pissed because like I cover it and like people get like, oh, why are you so mad about it? Like, I'm not jealous. I wouldn't commit this potential crime to fuck myself over. I'm just warning you of it.
I think it might be a similar mindset. I can't remember which of the polls said it. It was on a podcast, and he's like, I want to be a billionaire before I'm 30 or whatever he said. Like as you get bigger, as you get more money, all you do is compare yourself to the people who are that little bit bigger than you. You got a mansion, you compare yourself to fucking, I don't know, Bezos, who has an even bigger mansion. And you're like, man, I need to get more money. The amount of money I have, sure, it's tens of millions, but it's not enough. I'm not bigger than that other guy. And so you just try to cut corners.
That's such a toxic mentality. And it's like, I feel like there was a while where like earlier in my life, I think everyone does it. Like I kept but now it's like I'm just like thankful that I have like a house to live in, you know what I mean? Like I own, and that's like that's better than 99% of the people that have to struggle through life right now. So it's like, you know, I'm in a place where I'm happy, and it's like I don't need to be like a billionaire by 30. I mean, I don't think anybody should be a billionaire. Anybody should want to be a billionaire. Like that kind of stress and like add on to your life is not something anybody would want. Like at some point you can get so much money that like like there's no reason to have more. Like at least in my idea, it wouldn't change my quality of life, right? Come home and I play some video games and I cover viruses on videos, and that satisfies me enough. Like I don't need any more than that.
You know? I found it interesting since I've become wealthy. None of the issues that I had originally when I was, you know, making enough to get by. I've had issues, you know, with personal things and social stuff and all that, and like nothing's changed. Like, I'm still living in the same house that I was living in when I was, you know, making 40 grand a year or whatever, because I wasn't really interested in the money. I wanted to make good content and maybe have people that I talk to online and shit. My goal was never the money, but other people, you know, they get into, where they don't give a shit about making good content and stuff. They just want the dollars at the end of the day.
Yeah, and they're also living the lifestyle bankrupts them the next day. Like I remember like fucking this is about a month ago, but when I was just sitting there, I was like, I don't really buy anything fancy for myself or some shit from time to time. Like I buy computer stuff, but that's not really like buying for, that's like more of an investment thing, if anything, like into this. So I ended up buying myself a car, you know, like I was like, let me get myself a nicer car. I went and like got a Tesla. And I still, even then, I was like, I'm gonna get this fucking thing slightly used because I ain't paying no fucking dealer prices day one out of the box for this shit. So even with wealth, it's like I still do things smartly, and I still like live way beyond the fucking means that I have, and it's pretty much what it is, right? Like it's, I don't understand the wealth flex that people tend to really bring out.
I mean, chat's telling me the reason why you cut out sometimes is because your sensitivity is too high. As in when you get really soft, like at the end of sentences, it cuts out sometimes.
I can change that. Hold on in the audio. Let me just there it is. It should work now. No cutting out.
Because you never know with Discord, but maybe that's it. I don't know. But like I bought myself a Lexus, and the only reason I bought myself one, especially during COVID when I can't really drive or go anywhere, I don't really go anywhere anyway. But it's because my previous car I had for like 15 plus years and was basically a death trap. It's like I may as well buy something that's safe and looks nice if I'm going to buy something at all. It's probably the one extravagant purchase I've had since making a bit more money. But it's, different mindsets.
Which Lexus did you get? Because those are really nice cars.
I'm not a big car person. Chat, which it was like IS300 or something. Chat, you got the number? Lexus IS300H.
Ooh, those are nice.
It does look nice, except the GPS is not as good as Google Maps. That's the one thing I noticed immediately.
That's literally the only reason I went with when I went with Tesla, because like the thing that pissed me off when I bought that was like they don't allow you to use the Android Auto, and that's pretty much what I use in every car. So it's like when I first got it, everything is on Google. Like all their maps are through Google, so it's like, all right, whatever. That's all I fucking needed. I don't need anything else. The only big issue with that is like fucking the charging on it. Like you definitely get anxiety on like those electric vehicles. That's about the only thing I can really knock against it.
Yeah, mine's a hybrid. Like I don't think with the current infrastructure in Australia that I can really support having an electric car. But I mean, I suppose my car just sits in the garage, so probably I could have one because it wouldn't really matter.
Electrics are the thing with the electric stuff. Is like it's kind of a bit of a money pit. Like I know when I bought this, I had to pay like the extra fucking, was it like 10 grand for the FSD, like the driving component, and then like the extra grand for installing the charger at my house. So it's a bit pricier for sure. Like you're gonna be spending some money up front, but like the thing with the infrastructure is absolutely true, right? Like I live an hour out, like 40 minutes out from Toronto now. And like in my entire city, there's literally only one charger for the car, like one like station of chargers.
Yeah, that's my fear.
It's like, it's not like a gas station where you can come in, fucking stick it in for 5 minutes and like, you know, pay your money and go off. It's like, you got to sit there at the charger for like 40 minutes for this thing to fucking charge up too.
I mean, certainly it improves over time and all that jazz. I mean, it is still technically, well, I wouldn't say it's a new technology. It's been around for fucking forever, but it's only widely become adopted enough to really advance in the last, decade or something.
It's weird to me, like how fucking Tesla was the one company to like implement a car that looked decent with electric, because like every other electric vehicle, like fucking, they just look bad. Like it is like, they look trash. And I'm like, why isn't like BMW or like Mercedes or like Lexus and like all these companies, like Acura, jumping in onto the full EV trend with like their design? I'd buy a fucking BMW if it looked like a 3 Series and an electric, but you know.
Before Tesla, I mean, it's hard to think back that far, but it wasn't really cool to be green. And so the only people who bought an electric car, people who did not give a shit what it looks like. It wasn't there wasn't the market for it. But Tesla's like, nah, man, fucking electric cars are the fucking way of the future, the greatest thing. And then it became, you know, I mean, probably a lot of tech people got it first, and then it became like a status symbol to have an electric car. And then with the status becomes trying to make the cars look good.
Yeah, it's also like fucking just, you sit over there and it's like, they're the first ones to come, and it's like, you can have an electric vehicle and it can like go up to like Lamborghini speeds and you can have a good time. Like, dude, like I remember that's the one thing they told us, like, this thing is fast. I'm like, you're telling me it's fast? I'm like, dude, I can't even drive 45 above, like I can't drive 10 above the limit without the cops pulling me over. I was in Australia, in Melbourne, dude. I rented a fucking car out there. I rented a nice vehicle and I was like, you know, I'm gonna drive this on the highway a little bit. Immediately pulled over for going like 15 over the limit. And those are the Australian cops, they do not fucking kid around, guys. Like, they will, like, I kind of played it a little cool with them. I was like, oh, I'm just a dumb American, we use miles per hour. No, they looked at my driver's license. I'm like, no, you got kilometers back home, kid. It's like, you better watch yourself going forward. I'm like, damn it.
It's bad luck, I suppose, because I mean, I don't drive all that often, but I've probably only been pulled over once in my entire life, and that was like for a breath test or whatever, and I nothing happened there. But it's just because I say I don't drive enough. I want to drive more, but I have nowhere to go.
We don't, like, especially because of like the whole lockdown. You can't. I don't know if you're locking down again over there like crazy.
Yeah, the political situation in regards to lockdowns here has been, I mean, it's been very politicized in America. Anything you've heard about Australia in regards to lockdowns is all nonsense. Trust from America. Yeah. But it's right now we're not in lockdown, but our cases are going up so much, and there's just a constant debate. You know, the pie that doesn't want to fucking do anything, and the other one that wants to do stuff. And I think we might now have mask mandates indoors again or something, but nah, I don't know.
We're about to have that again, actually, I think.
Okay.
I know Montreal, the city over like 4 hours from me right now, Montreal, they're fully locking down again. And like Toronto, like the problem with us, we have like kind of like I want to say like a Trump style, like, you know, premiere, where he's like, he like tells you, it's like, all right, guys, stay inside, lock yourself down. Okay, I'm gonna go meet with my family. You have to stay inside your whole house.
Oh, dude.
Like, everyone just gets pissed watching that.
Our PM, when everyone was in lockdown, got like a taxpayer-funded jet or something on Father's Day to fly to his family. Everyone's like, are you fucking for real? This is the same guy that when Australia was on fire ages back, he went to Hawaii for a vacation. It was like, are you fucking for real? And this guy is still the preferred PM. Still the preferred PM. Probably going to win the next election because...
dude, it's all those elections are usually a fucking joke. I feel like every time we bitch about one prime minister, they always keep getting voted in. You know how many times people bitch about Ted Cruz in Texas? He still wins all the time. No matter where you go in politics, it's like because you really only have a choice of one shitty person or the other shitty person, in my opinion. So it's like, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, there's not much a single individual can do, and you just kind of grit your teeth and go, this is fine, I guess. It's fine.
Well, hopefully at some point this like entire pandemic kind of maybe starts winding down, maybe a little bit, you know, when these variants stop showing up like every other month or two.
I mean, considering, because like here in my state, we're like 95+% double booster shot vaxxed or whatever, and they say we might need a third one at some point for this Omicron thing. But like we recently had like 4,000 cases or something, like 2 deaths or something, because the vaccines are doing their job, keeping people from dying. But certainly the hospitals are starting to be like, guys, can you stop getting COVID? We're running out of beds and shit.
Yeah, fucking please get yourself fixed up, guys, a little bit. Don't.
Yes.
I mean, the thing that we have over here, the biggest problem is like we still have like a staunch amount of complete anti-vaxxers out here. So like people who just don't believe in like vaccine technology. And it's funny to me, like I don't want to get like political and like it shouldn't even be political. When I was a kid, we got vaccinated. You know, I get the flu shot because I get fucked up with the flu. So I get it every year, you know? And it's like no one in like, I would say the last 5 years ever bitched about that flu vaccine. We used to make fun of these people, you know? Like we used to make fun of them. We're like, you fucking idiot. Like you're not going to live past the age of 2 if you don't get vaccinated. Now it's like, oh, because this one vaccine came out. Okay, and now we have to like bitch about it. Now we have to like not get it done. Oh. And then even if you don't get vaccinated, you still go out and party and you spread this thing around and you wonder why it evolves and mutates. Like,
exactly. Shit. The amount of misinformation around these vaccines is crazy. I've looked into it just out of curiosity. It's all stupid.
Have you seen Facebook? Man, dude, I think Facebook is getting like, they're getting their Section 230 kind of getting challenged into the US. And I don't know, don't quote me on this yet, but like Mark Zuckerberg was out there going like, their fact checkers they're just running on like professional opinions. Like literally opinions is like mentioned. Fact and opinion was mentioned in the same fucking sentence.
I mean, I've heard they've started to remove anti-vax stuff.
I literally don't think he's gonna fucking. If anything, Mark Zuckerberg might be the one guy that's like allowing. Mark Zuckerberg and like TikTok are the 2 platforms where this shit goes. Because even on like Twitch, you can't do anti-COVID rhetoric. You can't do misinformation. You can't do it on YouTube. YouTube, like if you even touch the topic of COVID-19, you better fucking make sure you're 100% factual. Otherwise, channel strike right there. You get taken down. And dude, at some point, like I don't disagree with that. I'm like, yeah, spread the right information. Don't spread misinformation. And it goes back to some of the culture war channels too. Like you always find like the outrage merchants on YouTube, and I think chat knows who the fuck I'm talking about. Like everyone, we all know the outrage fucking crybabies, and they're always talking about like fucking COVID, and it's like maybe I shouldn't get the vac because I could like. I hate it. I hate watching it all the time because that's the same shit that permeates the rest of society and makes me lock inside even more.
Yeah.
And,
had it been taken seriously from the get-go, we might not be in the situation we're in now, but enough people being like, okay, I get that all the experts who know stuff about viruses and stuff are saying this could be a big deal, we need to do stuff. I know they're saying that, but it's just the flu, guys. It's not a big deal. So all these fucking crybabies saying this new flu is going to be a big deal. Fuck them, they don't know what they're talking about. Let's just ignore all the health advice. And now we're here, many years later, having to deal with this shit still. It's just... Dunning-Kruger is a big thing. They can't identify that they don't know anything because they don't know enough to be able to identify their lack of knowledge.
I'm like, we live in such a world where like you got people who are crazy like against this idea, and like my thing is I just want to be able to get past it because it's not me that it's primarily affecting that hard either. The thing that it affects, and the thing that really pisses me off is like in my region there's a lot of like businesses that are now finally like completely shut down. Like I know a lot of small business people, like close friends of mine too, that like they had good businesses pre-COVID. Because of COVID, like they couldn't afford their rent, they couldn't do shit. They're shut down because of all these lockdowns, because of how poorly even the government has handled it. And I think that's the real tough thing to really swallow, right? Like you may not notice it if you don't go outside too much, but like literally do go outside in your neighborhood and look at how many like for lease areas there are. Look at how many like fucking rental areas are now available. All the businesses are in fact getting their asses shut down.
Certainly fewer smaller businesses are less able to weather changes in the market, of course, and certainly
especially if you live in an expensive city. Like I don't know how expensive Sydney is necessarily. I assume it's I'm gonna assume like, so I always say expensive city, but it's like I think like when I think of expensive, I think of like Los Angeles as being like the fucking mecca for like killing your bank account. Toronto's not too far behind. I know Melbourne was super expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know how like...
So, just back to the thing before, I think regardless, like even if there were no lockdowns, I think that the small businesses would have pretty much gotten fucked, especially the ones that aren't online, because people would have themselves become afraid as more people dropped like flies, as hospitals became more and more packed. there would have been a portion of people who would have stayed home. Maybe as many people, maybe not. But there would have been an infectious disease in a society is going to hurt businesses as people try to avoid going places with other people. But Sydney is basically just like Melbourne. Sydney and Melbourne, like they're different in many ways, but they're both super expensive. Like the cost of a house has gone up in Sydney by $300,000 in 1 year. It's now the median house. The median is 1.5 million. It is nuts.
How much? Wait, how big is the house on that one for 1.5? Like square footage?
I don't know, but it's not like a mansion, my guy. It's just a house.
Okay, it's like a standard. Okay, because that's the prices we're seeing over here. Like it's fucking. I know the house that I ended up getting here was like 1.3 million.
We mirror. Yeah. We whenever I hear about something happening in Sydney, you can kind of look to Canada, which is we share a lot of similarities because of our history with the Commonwealth and all that jazz. And so we do. We do have some of the same problems.
We share the same. I mean, in terms of like how much of our countries are used versus not, like in terms of landmass where people live. Pretty thing. True on that one, you know. But it's like when you tell me that house price, I'm like, yeah, no, that 1.5 million. I'm like, that's. I mean, I feel kind of better because we're slightly lower, slightly. You know, it's like maybe it's not as bad.
My mother.
When I was watching, like, go ahead.
My mother 2 years ago, she's like, oh, you should. Yeah, get a loan, get yourself a house. I'm like, I'm a bit busy. I'm building my channel and stuff. I don't got time to look for a house. I'll do it next year or the year after. And then just 2 years later, housing prices double. I'm like, fuck. You're
like, fuck, man. And it's like, dude, the thing about it is like, if you go to like 1.5 million, it's like, I could probably a successful person would be like, maybe I can make it work. How does somebody with like an average salary even conceive a $1.5 million house?
And they can't, because this is just a bubble. It's just everyone just is so easy to borrow money. Interest rates are so low, and the nanosecond interest rates go up. There's going to be people who will, default on their mortgages and shit. Houses will go back on the market. We'll do the 2008 financial crisis again, and that's what seems to be what we're leading to. And it's so terrible because I don't want that to happen because how much it will devastate people. But on the other hand, I would like to buy a house that is a normal price.
Like a good size house, like a fucking decent place to live in, not like a fucking closet you buy in New York for like fucking $500,000. No, this is like, I have a family who live in New York and they bought their house for like fucking the same price I paid over here, except their house is like 30 fucking years old. And I'm like, makes sense, because you are living in one of the most expensive fucking cities in the world, but like shit. And I don't know, I mean, I think in like the next 2 years, and even if the bubble does burst, like unfortunately with the way property prices are, they're only going to drop like 10-15% simply because of like the market hasn't stopped, like even over here, like despite how high the prices go, you still have people buying houses for some reason. Like I know in the investment world, we like sold a property to a guy who like literally bought it off of us with cash, like just cash. And I'm like, when you get that much cash, you have to like do the whole like fucking criminal check on them. It's like, are you sure we're not selling to like the cartel or like,
I mean,
but no, it's like legit money. So
I suppose two big factors, of course. There's many factors, but COVID has taught people, because we're all stuck inside. We're like, man, I want a better house. If I'm going to be stuck in here all this time, and, people just realize having a really nice home is a good thing. But also because people are afraid of the future, and if there's one thing that does well and that people will always need, it's a house. So if you got money, you're going to stick it in a house because it seems the most secure thing.
It used to be a thing where like fucking me and you, because we were able to remote from home for a while now with like the way that we handle our job and our careers. So we could buy a house in like any place and we could pay like nothing. Like there'd literally be mansions like fucking in like certain parts of Quebec for like $200,000, like full fucking mansions with like pools and everything. I could go out and buy that and like live comfortably. And but
it's like it's just
now
so much
everyone
effort.
Can.
I mean, true, it is more possible, but people still don't want to do it. And for the same reason I don't want to do it. It's fucking a lot of effort to move somewhere in the middle of nowhere, especially when I need good internet, which is not necessarily going to be there. And it is nice, because my family is, or at least my mother is still in Sydney, and people make connections, have friends and stuff, and it's hard to move away from that, even if your job allows it.
And now you got like but now everyone can remote from home, and people are kind of getting used to it. So it's like now they're moving out to these places, increasing their values like up the ass. So it's like even places that typically would have been considered like not a hotbed for property are now like also climbing up. And like where I live right now, you think like living 40, maybe an hour away from the city might be a problem, especially in Toronto where we have like maybe one highway that gets you there to the city. And like, you know, people are still moving out here because now they're all remoting from home, doing nothing, and like, you know, they don't have to live in the city anymore.
Basically, chat, what Moonha is saying is stop buying houses in Sydney so I can buy one, okay?
Actually, yeah, go if you can buy a house away from the city, especially if you're comfortable living at home. You know, I like going to the city. That's why I pay money to live close to the city. It pisses me off, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I see you on Twitter having a time of your life in I don't know what city you'd be going to, but in Canada.
Yeah, in Toronto, I like it's just I have some good friends over here, and it's like I can't really afford to like lose those connections and go that far away. I already feel like I live too far away from everyone, but
do you find it hard living, because like being Australian, I'm like so far away from most big content creators that even if I dreamed of doing a collaboration with someone from another country, I'm not flying 16 hours. But you being in Canada, do you often travel to collab with people, or do you hate that you're technically so close to the American large content creators, but you're not there enough that collaboration's easy?
I mean, for me, it's not the biggest issue because, like, it's really just like that international travel bullshit. Like, you have to get there and like go through the securities and everything. Yeah. And that's the only thing that ruins it. But like, I mean, a flight for me to Los Angeles is like 3-4 hours, and it's not terribly expensive in comparison to like what I'd be paying to go to like Europe or like Australia or something.
I mean, it's still quite far. I mean, taking a 1-hour flight to Melbourne's a pain in the ass for me, but yeah, 3 to 4 hours is not an insignificant amount to travel.
I used to fly to Japan like every year for a while, and this was like a purely work thing. So I'm so used to the long haul flight shit that I can't, like, whenever I get into a flight from here to like California and it's like, oh, you got a 4-hour flight, I'm like, all right, I've suffered worse. The worst flight I ever had was from here to like Australia, and like the only reason is that like in Australia they have like one airline I think that serves internationally, like Qantas. And so when I landed in Los Angeles, they literally made me run, and they're like, all right, you're at the gate, you have 5 minutes to get to the gate in Australia, like for the Australian flight, and make it all the way there. And the flight to Melbourne, it wasn't super bad. I mean, it was like, you know, it's a fucking 16-hour flight. It definitely fucking kills you, but
we are far away from everything.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like a lot of the content creators I do want to collaborate with do live out in Australia now. Like that's where like a big chunk of the cooler creators, in my opinion, are too, you know? Like,
yeah, there's some good people down here, which is strange when you think about it because of how bad the internet here was for so long, but there's a lot of people who sprung up since we got some decent tech.
The internet, man, when I was there in 2017 in Melbourne, the internet, your fucking mobile providers fucked me good when I was there. I was like, I probably spent like close to $100-something just in like having mobile, like fucking 4G internet, like 3G, I would have to say.
I was about to say, even though the speeds have gone up, the prices are still ridiculous. I mean, I hear you guys in Canada have a similar sort of thing, high internet prices.
Yeah, how much do you pay for your internet, just if you don't mind me asking?
My fiber is $419 a month. For 1,000 down, 400 up, and my phone is like, I don't know, 100 down, no, maybe like 50 down, 20 up or something for like $50 a month or something.
All right, well, I will say on the phone front, we're pretty much blood brothers, but when it comes to the internet, holy fuck, you're getting screwed. I'm paying like $100 on mine for 1 gig up and down.
Up and down, like because I can get like a plan for like say 1,000 down and 20 up for like $120, but that up they fucking just they rip out your guts.
That's where they
if you want upload speed.
That's where they get you, because like I literally like that for the longest time in Canada it used to be like that, where like they would give you like a gig down, but like, oh, here's 10 up, here's 15 up, and it's like. And you would call them and it's like, I need more than that. And sometimes they would be like, who needs that much upload? I'm like, motherfucker, I upload gigabytes a day. All right. Like sometimes 10s, 20, 30 gigs a day to like servers. And so eventually they had like fiber up here, like, you know, from Bell, which they ended up coming at us for like $100 bucks, like 110 or whatever, I think is what it is when you add the tax. But like, That's like recent though. That's like maybe in the last 2-3 years it ever got that good.
Well, hopefully it'll get better here as well. Like the internet, I mean, has always been bad, and certainly there's still large parts of the country that don't even have fiber and are sitting there on like ADSL2 still. But so I moved for fiber, and any new house gets fiber. So things have steadily improved over the years. That meme of everyone in Australia having shitty internet is now only half true, where a couple of years ago it was completely true.
The problem with the Australian internet too is that like a lot of services tend not to think of hosting servers in the oceanic region. So like that also ruins some of the internet stuff too. Like I know for a lot of my buddies who want to game with me from there, they're like, oh, the games don't have oceanic servers, or like that's why I'm not buying it. Like I think for the longest time, Siege, like one of my favorite, like, well, used to be one of my most favorite online shooters until Ubisoft fucked things around. They didn't have like, I think, oceanic servers, I think, for a while. So like they would be connecting to like fucking Asia or like some fucking random region and getting absolutely blasted on the ping.
Yeah, in a lot of games, it's either 300 ping with America or like 120 ping or something with some Asian region or whatever. But that's kind of life. I mean, I remember when World of Warcraft released Australian servers, like 10 years into the life of World of Warcraft, and it was like, yes, finally we could have good ping in World of Warcraft, which is not really that significant these days, obviously. But yeah, I'm obviously I don't do a lot of competitive gaming, so it's not been a huge thing for me. But it has been a thing enough in my life that I have noticed, as you say. I'm curious, what caused you to start doing a podcast at all?
I met some of my buddies. They pitched the idea to me, and I was figuring, I definitely there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but I don't want to make main channel videos necessarily because it's not that important. So I just found a way to like have a discussion with a few people and invite guests and like talk to them and talk about some of these current event things without making a big song and dance about it. I genuinely do like the idea of podcasting. I've been approached a few times because obviously like my channel and like the only other channel that has any like similarity to mine in terms of like production style and like the general vibe is like Charlie, so Moist Critical, and that's the only other one. So it's like when they reach me, it's like, well, a lot of your videos can just be considered podcast highlights. And then I found out that the market was super predatory in the world of podcast hosting. Like some of the shit that they bring on, like the way that a lot of these companies, and I'm not going to name specific names, but they come on to you, they pitch you some of these ideas, and they're generally fucking over the creator in a lot of ways. Like most sponsorships, I guess, go, or like any.
Oh, I thought you were saying that people do podcasts through companies. Are you saying sponsorships? All these sponsors who do?
No. Like normally, like people, I know most people who do like their podcasts, like the biggest ones you'll see right now are done through like a network, right? Like Warner Brothers or something. They'll like have like a sub, like it'll be like an MCN, but typically for people who are running podcasts. And the problem with that is like they'll give you a set of tools, like they'll make it look really nice, but they're generally screwing you out of like what is like the money that you'd be making and like your place. So we're doing everything in house. Like we have a group of us who are like, we're doing all the production and everything on our end for it. But as far as like all the podcast stuff goes, they just like to generally sit down and have like a discussion per week. And, like this is great podcast material, this is what like kicks off and goes crazy. And the more we can push it, the better it is.
I mean, yeah, podcasting is, it especially became a thing when YouTube started to favor longer content. And also with YouTube Red, now what is it called? YouTube Premium or whatever, giving you good money for that shit. Not that it's as good these days, but still, I tried to make a podcast myself. Like it was because I do rambles where like just whenever I'm rambling on stream, I make them into videos, just like highlights or whatever. I thought I could do that with other people, so I tried doing an episode, and it's tough. Like podcasts are hard to both organize, especially if you have multiple guests. And like I don't know if I'm gonna have energy of a day to want to talk, but if you've set a date, then you kind of have to do it on that day. And I got a lot of respect for people who can just perform at a specific time of a day every time.
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely for us. It's like the hosts that I have, the friends that I have that I do it with. It's like for us, it's kind of like a way for us to, in a way, help each other's channels out, because it's like podcasting stuff is great if you want to stay completely relevant in the sphere of like the internet, of like just in front of the world. Like when you got like three personalities that are bringing their own collective audiences, it's always going to work out. But yeah, generally I think the biggest problem that I'm facing with it right now is like scheduling, you know, like I talked to you about it behind the scenes, obviously, with like, you know, we reach to a guest, we literally set a date aside 7 days in advance, and it's like, when it doesn't work out that way, yeah, does it piss me off a little bit? For sure. And, you know, sometimes you just have to roll with it. That's why, like, we have 3 guests, like me and my 2 friends, and it's like we all have our collective channel, so we don't really feel like we necessarily need a guest every week, you know, to like push that in the algorithm or like get it going. Would we like to have a guest? Absolutely. We like to have guests because we like to chat with some of our good friends and have a good time, but
and it adds new stuff to the episode, you know. Yeah.
Like, if we were to have you on as a guest, it would, and the thing is, it's like, first off, we do want you on as a guest, so I got to pencil you in. But like, the other thing is, it's like, we probably wouldn't be talking so much about Twitch, you know? Like, what have we talked about so far in this entire thing? We talked about, you know, NFTs, financial scams, fucking housing prices. And I think a lot of that has been a million times more entertaining than 99% of the other podcasts I've seen, where people go super structured, people go like, you know, you have to speak about certain things, you have to keep things in a sphere of relevance, when really I don't think that's what a podcast is. It's mostly about like, you know, personalities discussing, you know, things that they're interested in. Like, that's what I like listening to.
When you have things being more structured, when you have specific questions or topics you want to hit on, it means that like the amount of personalities that you can have on expands, because not a lot of people can just, you know, free talk about different topics. They need structure. They need things to grab onto to continue to flow a conversation. Like that's a part of the struggle that I have with a podcast. Like I mean, we're talking here, sure, but I don't think I could do this on a regular basis. I don't think I would have enough things to talk to other people about, or that I could, you know, keep that flow going for hours on end, without there being some awkward pause that no one can kind of get out of. But I suppose if you've got a lot of people on the podcast, I mean, at least someone's going to have something to talk about, something that they're passionate about that other people can bounce off. But like I'm saying, I respect you for giving that a go, and I hope you're successful with it.
Thank you very much. No, it's we're gonna try. We're really like super hard into it. A lot of it is just like really being competitive with some of the other podcasts in the market, or like some other people. But
I mean, certainly there's only a certain amount of people who are willing to listen to a podcast. But I suppose like anything that can be listened to with just audio is going to have a wider amount of people who can engage with the content. Me, for example, most of the time I watch like the Trash Taste podcast, for example, or Linus's.
I love that podcast.
Yeah, because it's just and when they're just boys talking about what they're passionate about. But like it's usually when I'm cleaning or whatever, I'm cooking something on the rare occasion that I do, and I can't watch anything. But podcasts are great just to fill the air, you know. And certainly,
it's great. Like, I mean, when I'm programming, because like 90% of the time I'm in front of this computer, I'm like programming something for like a video or like planning a video out. It's like the podcasts are perfect to have. Like the WAN show, fucking love having it on the side, because I get to hear about like Linus talk about, even if it's not something interesting in the sphere of computing that I'm in, I still like listening to it, because like they do have the energy to carry it, you know? Like, they know what they're talking about. I feel excited then.
Passionate people are the greatest people to listen to. It almost doesn't matter the topic. If a person who's knowledgeable and passionate, just always great to listen to. But
absolutely.
You said, your podcast, you've got co-hosts, as in like, you said Charlie. Doesn't he already have a podcast? Is he doing 2 podcasts now?
No, Charlie was a guest for us. My co-hosts are like the Nuxtaku and like Oompaville, like the other 2 guys. Charlie is a guest for us. He's got his own podcast for sure.
So the anime dude with the avatar.
The VTuber, yeah.
Yeah, he has a very interesting voice. I think I've seen his content. Who is the other person?
Oompaville. He does like more of the he does like similar videos that I do, like commentary stuff. But he generally is much more of a... Well, he's got some newer content coming up that I can't spoil. That's a little more wilder than I expected, but yeah.
I'll certainly check out some of the episodes, because I only recently found out you had a podcast, because you got like 3 episodes or something, so it's fairly new. But
yeah, we just filmed like the 3rd one yesterday. It's just started out, so we got like a 2-month trial period, you know, where we're like fucking really going ham into it, and then after that we can kind of like chill back and, you know, do some other extravagant stuff. We kind of want to do like ghost hunting at some point later, because I want to, because we kind of had like a joke or whatever where like we're gonna do like some of the typical ghost hunts that people would see, and we'd come across ghosts, but the ghosts would be the ones that would read our sponsor reads the entire time. Like we'd whip out the parabolic mic and it would like play the fucking ad read for it, because it is what it is. Like we just wanted to like fucking joke around with it, because it is just a way for us to like kind of collaborate more and more, and like in a way where it's like doable.
It's just funny you're mentioning ghosts. Do you watch every episode of Trash Taste?
No, I don't watch every episode of Trash Taste. I like put it on when I'm working on something.
I mentioned on one of the episodes because Joey on one of the episodes talked about his experiences with ghosts, and I had a ramble about it on stream, and Connor saw it, and he mentioned it on the podcast. I was like, oh, that's weird. It's just a small world kind of thing. But because back in the day when I first started making content, it was about supernatural claims and religion and society and all that jazz. I was, you remember the old atheist YouTuber days? I was involved in that. I like towards the end of it. I know it was kind of cringe, but towards the end of that, I was a little bit involved. Just a little bit. It's just at the end of that kind of era on YouTube is when I first started. And so I have a lot of opinions about that stuff, but it isn't really a part of my content these days. But when people bring out the supernatural, I'm just like, oh God, don't get me started, man.
Dude, I literally, like, I just made a video before, like, I came on here where I was like, I put up a $100,000 bounty. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it's not a joke anymore. Like, I put up $100,000 and I said, if you can prove that ghosts exist right now, like, if you can prove that spirit boxes work, I'll pay you.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'll wire you the cash.
That shit's horrible. All those channels that are like a famous person died, talking to famous person beyond the grave at 3 a.m.
Every time, dude, I see that shit. I can't imagine, like, and the thing is, the audience that follows it, they eat that shit up, because what they do is they just like tie it to like religious like beliefs and shit, and everyone they're like, oh, it must be true, God's love is here, and as a spiritual guy, I'm like, hey, listen, I don't think God wants ghosts running around speaking to them with Morse fucking code. That would just be really depressing. But hey.
Yeah, it's all weird shit. And it's like, when I was in my young 20s or whatever, I mean, younger than that, I would like to have these conversations. But these days, I'm like, it's just, it's not a fun topic. People are very passionate about that stuff, and a lot of it's very meaningful to their lives. And it's kind of, you feel like a buzzkill sometimes, being like, no, I don't really think you have a justification to believe in that. But it's, leave that for other people these days.
It's fun to talk about, though, and this is before I gotta head out and take care of some things, is the Stan Lee NFT stuff. Have you seen that?
Oh, gross, dude, gross. Oh. Who owns that Twitter? Who would allow that?
I don't know who owns the Twitter. I don't even know if it's like Marvel owned or if it's state owned. I when I saw that, I was like, this must be something old. And then I saw the word NFT, and I'm like, it's not that old. Stan Lee died before this shit was a trend. And then I saw the time, and I couldn't do it. Do you know what the company is called that made the NFT series?
Oh, it's something weird.
Beyond Life.
Beyond Life, that's it. Yeah. It's terrible.
Terrible. The fact that tweet is still actually up there, the website itself as well, they did not phase whatsoever. They definitely, they're going through.
I wonder if they got something out of it. Like, if people actually bought into that shit. I
don't even know if it's launched yet.
Oh, well.
I don't think if it's launched yet, but I'm gonna I'm following up. I signed up for the NFT minting. I mean, I can't wait to have myself a Stan Lee NFT. I want to join the club. Why? Seems like a fun environment to get in. It's launching actually right here. It even says 7th January 2022.
Oh,
so
gross. Dude, this trend, these occasional times where this has happened, where a famous person has died and their Twitter or social media keeps posting, and sometimes pretending to be that person or whatever. Gross. Fucking gross.
Oh yeah. Fucking, and the thing is, like, people are always like, the NFT people are always like, yeah, but he was shilling like merch or something. I'm like, that's also disgusting. Like, don't get me wrong, I think that's just as bad, but like at the same time, especially with the negative attention NFTs have had, do you really want poor Stan Lee to get that shit?
I hope we're not dealing with NFTs like 5 years from now. So like, I want it to just come and go, but I don't think it is.
And I'm not a betting man, but I'm going to have to make a wager that I don't think we'll be seeing NFTs, especially with the way that they're acting. These NFTs, if it's just JPEG images that are being sold for marked up values, I don't think it's going to be a trend that lasts. And the thing that'll really kill it is when regulation steps in. Like when you've got banking systems around the world and like governments putting their effort into like police it, this stuff is gonna die.
Yeah, and they're looking at cryptocurrency and stuff as well, aren't they? And who knows how that's going to impact that. I suppose you've probably got a lot of crypto investments, I imagine.
No, man, I cashed out of all of that. I cashed out
Really?
this is around the Save the Kid stuff. Like after that, I was so jaded with the market that I cashed out on it, and I paid my taxes, and I put it all into like land and property investments. And
you dodged the crash of Bitcoin, I suppose, where it went down.
I dodged the complete crash of Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, I knew the crash was coming because it's like it's a purely speculated market, and there's always halvenings. There's always like fucking. There's always weird shit going on with crypto. And like the thing with cryptocurrency is like we've always talked about how like the Chinese keep destroying Bitcoin and everything and like keep banning it. But I think like if China regulates it and like they implement it, that's what's going to fuck up Bitcoin. That's what's going to ruin it. Because and the thing is, it's like we've all been billed something that's anonymized, right? Something that hasn't been like assessed by governments and like IRS and like, you know, these various like financial firms. But the moment you have something regulated and the moment you have it traced this heavily, the value in its like the anonymities go away. It's all gone. Like there's no value in it. What's the difference between having a fucking Bitcoin and then having a US dollar? You're still literally going to be like, you know, taxed and like identified the same way, right?
Yeah. I mean, see what the future brings, I suppose.
Think about it like this, right? Like Gary Vee and a bunch of these guys keep telling you that at some point the future of NFTs will be used for like signing like documents and all this stuff and like having a deed to a car or a house. And now think about it like this, right? Like we get pissed at Facebook about privacy, right? Like we get so fucking mad that Mark Zuckerberg is tracking every single thing that we've ever done. And now some people are accepting a technology that literally records every single thing that you do. Like now all of a sudden, if this is the world we live in the future, every single investment you make, that I make, we can now verify each other on the blockchain. We can now verify wallets. Like that's kind of fucking weird. That's kind of scary to me. That's like, it's a world where like there is almost no privacy anymore. There's like nothing to, I mean, not hide. I don't want to say hiding is something over there, but it's like, I don't want to like share my net worth with like people that don't know me and vice versa, right? Like we don't need to share that. We don't need to do that, you know?
I haven't considered it that way. It's not something that I really think on in the sense that with things that I can't change and that I'm not directly involved in as I'm not invested in crypto is things I don't reflect on. But I do follow it to a degree.
You're a streamer. You don't want to give your address out, right? Like, obviously, you never want that leaked.
Other than the 7 times that I did it, yeah. Buying pizza a handful of times, you know, it's sometimes hard to change the display capture.
I know. I've been on eBay a few times laughing at like $2 million Super Mario Karts, and people have like looked at my fucking low postal code in my area, and I've been fucking found that way. Yeah, but it's like nobody wants to give out anything. Nobody wants to do it. And then like what you have to, and imagine like in a world where like the house you buy, it's tied on the blockchain. Now people can find out where you live through like some little bit of internet detective work. And all of a sudden, now you're always not safe. Now you're always found out. Now they know what you're doing.
In many cases, it isn't a matter of what information you're giving up. It's whether or not you have the choice to give up that information or not. Because in many cases, I'm like, oh, sure, I don't care if people know about that. But the nanosecond you say, you have no choice, you have to share this information, I'm like, I don't know about that, sport. Like, I would like to be able to decide how much of my information people are able to get their hands on.
I know that I share information all the time. Like, people always get at me. It's like, oh, using virtual machines, you're fucking, you know, hiding yourself. Like, it's not that I have something to hide. It's just like, if I can choose to like not give up the information that's personal to me, you know, that I'm gonna take the extra steps. It takes like 5 minutes out of my life to do, all right? Just because of my background. So it's not, you know, breaking the fucking, it's not like, I'm not like sweating over losing any of that. I'm not sweating over doing all these extra steps. And I choose to go with it because it's like, I know that I give up some shit. I know that I have to give up information every day. I know that my name bounces through like a bunch of like registries for government stuff and, you know, just in general, as yours does, as everyone in the chat. And, you know, that I can tolerate, but like when I got to use a service like Facebook and Mark is like tracking me through like fucking Oculus products and like my cell phone, like that's fucking weird. You know, there should be no reason that Facebook is pinging my location when it's not open. You know, it's just weird.
The Facebook being involved with this metaverse, which, you know, we have to imagine at some point VR is going to be the next big thing, and I don't want Facebook to be the leaders of that. It just concerns me.
I want the VR technology to be as open as it is. You know, like an open like source platform that like not one company specifically owns. Because it's the reason why I use like Linux as a primary operating system, right? Like I know I don't use Windows like natively. Like I tend to like virtualize it as much as I can. And the reason I stick with Linux is because it's a kernel that's shared by everyone. You know, like everyone contributes to, everyone benefits from it, and it's a benefit you get. Like that's why I stick to it. And if we're gonna have to live in a metaverse where like it's owned by Mark, it's owned by like Meta now, not Facebook, it's scary. Like it's not a world that I want to be part of, because now all the control is going up to them. Now you have to give up, and think about it, you're in the metaverse, you're not only giving up like the information you have now, but you're probably going to be giving up fucking medical information to an extent. You're going to be giving up your health data to like them all the time. I know I bought an Oculus product like just to like AR VR around my house, and that thing like immediately without even asking me was like calculating my fucking health statistics and everything. I'm like, it's weird. Like, don't fucking take that without asking, Mark. No one asked you to.
I mean, I'm concerned I'm concerned about the tendency towards that we're going to create like a virtual capitalism with a artificial scarcity, and we're just going to have jobs in a virtual world to buy lands in some place. Like, I don't know. Because I watch videos about the advancements of VR, and it looks so amazing, but also so fucking terrifying.
Dude,
that it's going to go the wrong way.
When you look at virtual real estate, that should be enough to scare the fuck out of you.
Yeah, oh, that's please let that not be a main thing, but I don't know.
You know how many times like fucking I actually had Ice Poseidon who once like tried convincing me about like fucking virtual real estate. I'm like, this might work on some other dude, but there's no way I'm falling for the virtual real estate bullshit scam. There's no way you can convince me.
Ice Poseidon is still around, really?
He's like barely around. Like, the only time I ever talked to him ever was when like he like was doing this crypto coin, and I didn't look too far into it, but like immediately when I was talking about it, he like hits me up and it's like, it's not a scam, I promise. And I'm like, I haven't looked into it. I told him like, dude, I haven't even looked into it at all yet. But I mean, no one just immediately hits me up in the DMs and it's like, it's not a scam, I swear. I'm like,
it sounds like what a person doing a scam would say immediately, right?
Yeah, it's like, it scared the shit out of me. And then we're in a call and he's telling me about like virtual real estate stuff. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, you're buying mansions in the metaverse? Like, that doesn't even make any sense to me. No. Like, what the fuck? And then he's telling me it's like you could buy an NFT and have it hung up in like a virtual mansion. I'm like, do you know how depressing that sounds? Like,
yes, exactly.
That's like Blade Runner shit to me, you know? Like when fucking he's walking around with his glasses on and he sees like all the advertisements. I'm like, I don't want to live in a world like that.
Neither.
Like, I have to buy, like, imagine you have to buy a property physically to live in as a person, but then you also have to buy your virtual real estate, like your fucking mansion that everyone can connect to and like look in. Like, that's fucking scary.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, people like, I don't even want a mansion in real life. That's too much property for me to be living in. Why the fuck would I want it in goddamn like the metaverse where I can't even touch and feel things? Like, what?
I mean, like, maybe one day we will be able to touch and feel things though in the
But
VR.
That's when the Matrix kicks in, dude. That's when we like actually become battery pods and like get stuck into something. And that's when we don't have a choice, you know? That's when like fucking we're gone. We're in the Matrix.
Hey, they're warning us, man. We just have to listen.
I know. I know. Anyways, it's been good being on here, man. I gotta head out.
Yeah, nice talking to you. Good conversation, and thank you for the games as well. And good luck with your podcast and all your content. Everyone go subscribe and watch, like Mudahar's content and all that jazz.
Thanks for having me on, man. Good luck with everything, and I will send you all the video files in a bit once I just, you know, I'm just gonna send it to you raw. It's literally like it's an ultra wide video file with like my face on one side and the desktop capture, if that's okay.
Oh, good. I'm sure I'll figure it out. Thank you so much, dude.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Right. Thank you very much. Take care.
It's a good conversation. You're right. I should have gone full screen. I'm sure I will just zoom in on myself. Now to some speedruns of GTAs. No, as I said, I will get there eventually, but because one of those things where like when I do GTAGuessr, I don't know if I'm going to be talking to a person for a long time or not. Like I remember Whippy just dipped out immediately, and so I don't know if I should have like another setup for specifically that, you know. So many wide images, yeah, because I was doing my merch. Where's my commission of the stuff you sell with the emote I made? It's my picture. Miss input. Just use the desktop wallpaper. No, because I could just be like this and put you guys on the side and talk. And really what I should have then is like a thing in the corner that like has the person flashing whenever they speak and stuff. But I need to collab with Muda again. I mean, that was good, but I'm not very good at collabs, I don't think. I mean, he says he wants me to be on his podcast. Hope I can do that and not suck, you know? Like, whenever I think about being on a podcast thing, I'm like, what would I talk about? You know? Would I really be able to contribute all that much? Because all I do is work all day, you know? Well, how many viewers did this get? Us just chatting. That's not too bad, is it? What does the rest stream look like? I'm buggered. Like when I slept last night, and for the entire time that I was sleeping, I thought I was late for something, and so I never really got that deep sleep, and so I was pretty tired coming into this. So I'm happy it ended pretty well. And I won, hooray. I don't know which I prefer, like not taking it too seriously, kind of telling each other bits and pieces of what we're looking at, or when it's hardcore competitive, because the casual stuff is more fun, and you just chilling trying to figure out locations. But the more competitive stuff probably works better for YouTube, I think. People probably prefer that antagonistic, I'm gonna beat you kind of stuff, you know? Are there any more collaborations that I'm planning? There is only a handful more people that I'm aware of that both have a good knowledge of GTA, but also know me to some degree. Call me Kevin. Sonny Evans, I'm still trying to get Sonny Evans onto it, but he keeps being busy and stuff. I mean, does Doug know GTA? I mean, yeah, sure, I should probably do one with Hugo as well. Doug doesn't really know GTA, right? Like, see, I've never talked to, like, Gilly Master and stuff. Like, I'm trying to think of people that I'm even tangentially associated with who are also around my size, right? Am I friends with Doug? Oh yeah, because Doug does play a lot of mods. Yeah, so like he must have a decent knowledge of the game. So you might ask Doug, call me Kevin, Sonny Evans. That's enough for now. But I should be working on Pacifist and all that jazz, and I need to get back to speedrunning and stuff, and it's just nice talking to other creators sometimes, you know? You know? Oh, Gilly seems to be fan, though. Maybe we'll try that as well. Doug will probably just have a bot figure out the location for him. I mean, that would be pretty funny. If he programmed us for a special episode. I mean, he could probably do that himself for his own channel, you know? XQC probably would. I don't know him. Whatever 57010. So the problem with challenging whatever is he'd win easily. I mean, of all the people who exist that I know more about Los Santos than me, it's whatever. I respect his knowledge of the game to the absolute degree. But he also doesn't use a mic and doesn't use a webcam. That doesn't mean criticizing him, it just makes the collaboration for this particular thing difficult. Because we have collabs, or at least we've shouted out each other in videos. Like at the end of my 6 controversial strats of GTA 5, I gave whatever a shout out, and that's got a couple of million views. why don't you work with small YouTubers / streamers? Because I'm tired. I have so little time of a day to do anything that if I'm going to go out of my way to do a collaboration, the rare ones that I do, it's just in my best interest to do the biggest people possible. Well, I suppose biggest is the wrong word. People who I believe are going to be the best content possible. So the people that I did collaborations with first weren't necessarily the biggest content creators that I could have contacted. They were the ones that I believed had the best chance of doing well. I know me and Mudaha have had our disagreements and stuff, but he's a talker, you know. His content as much is as much his personality as it is the stuff that he makes, and for that reason, it's more than likely going to go down well. Whatever must be a dev or something. No, he's a real OG of making GTA content, and because he has his specialized tools and stuff for making his stuff, he is able to see stuff that the rest of us can't, you know. How about another collab with Chat and GTAGuessr? We haven't played together in a while. I mean, the last one that I did with Chat, I did say we'd do a double or nothing for 100 subs, because we tied. You should honestly try and do more podcast style content. I think it honestly suits you well. Any form of social interaction, conversations, takes like 10 times my energy of doing anything else. Which usually isn't a problem, as long as we aren't talking for 10 hours. But when I wake up of a day, I have no idea how much energy I'm going to have for that day. And so I find it hard to book specific days and then show up and be my best self. I'm kind of rolling the dice as to how well it's going to go. Would I consider flying to Japan for Trash Taste? I have to. I mean, because the one association I had with Trash Taste was kind of awkward, in which I was criticizing Joey's beliefs. I mean, if he saw that video, he's probably not going to like me. I don't think I'm interesting enough of a person for people to bother to get me out to another country to talk to me, you know? When people are flying out guests, those guests have to be in a really interesting spot. And I am a YouTuber streamer. Gance, Joey, and Connor are YouTuber streamers. You don't want a person on the podcast who does the same thing that you do, you know? I'm sure we'd have a lovely chat, but that's not what you're going to put the effort into getting, you know? I should collab with DarkViperAU, great guy, good at GTAGuessr, not so good on tying. It would be funny if someone took the collabs that I did and like cut them together or something, replacing the other person with me saying things, talking to myself or whatever or something. I don't know. That would actually be hard to do to get it to sync up perfectly. Is that a Boba Fett? Boba Fett, him, yeah. I still don't have a AAA battery to work with. Disney sent it to me because their show's coming out on the 29th for Boba Fett. Like, this thing is meant to do stuff, but all I can do is this. It's not an ad, they just sent me a gift. I could have done nothing with it, technically. What am I gonna do for the rest of my day, chat? I guess I have to work on pacifist. Hey, the same man. I saw your message. I haven't responded to it yet. I saw it before I started. Edit passes on stream? No. No. So I'm gonna go, guys. Oh, we should do a game of marbles, and I will thank all the subs and stuff. That is what I should do. Brony, thank you for the merch purchase. Actually, I'll separate these now. Thank you, Charlie, Gold Muffin, Megs, Marcelo, Gocho, Creepy, Why Hey There, Chino, Authentic Gold, San Games, Free Willy Pete, Killer King, Appier, GXD Burr, Black Linlin, Kubat TV, Rig Zero, Austin, thank you for gifting a sub. Sonny, thank you for gifting a sub. Rinshock, Remsis, On My Uncle Left, Mineru, Meep, Doc28, Bats, FBI, Open Up, thank you guys for subs. Hello, thank you for gifting a sub. Jack Lasser, Gun Moon, Tyre, Fled Blues, Reen Tui, Callum, Next Time, Tomrius, Blue Eye Hawk, Foiled Cookies, Okul, Livid, Lua, Woog, Feisty, Meredith's Cat, Cosmic Cow, Reese, Weave, Spyro. It's been a year, long time, dude. Theo, Armageddon. Thanks, man. Thanks, Armageddon. Account Locks. Thank you guys for subs. Wanted Wombat, thank you for gifting a sub. Quack, Baz, Zesty, Somebody, Bug Pain, V T&E, Happiest Day, Mr. Not Very Smart UK, G Hockey, D Sites, The Drunk Dutchman, D8RL, Pigeon Master, Riff Cat, Huey, Grum Gustavo, Fraudulum, Aiden Barry, Daniel Cook, Emmerichs, thank you guys for subs. Actually, Peanuts, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. I hope you're still here. Thank you so much. Yeah, just 12 hours until Christmas, and as well my giveaway ending, so be sure to go sign up for that. Thank you for 10 gifted subs, dude. Actually Peanuts, thank you. When are we going to speedrun GTA again? With the new year, so like day one of the new year. Fishy Fisher, Musuzu, Zelda Catbug, Hazzy, Miko Soft Support, Borgia, thank you guys for subs. Crimson Dawn, thank you for gifting a sub. GTAGuessr. Truest Gamer, Heroined, The Dutch Boy, Grim, Antisocial, Big Jickle, Finn, Nordox, LOL Nation, Crazy, Fire, MMA, Slow-Mo Plays, Douche, Dush, Rezi Bezzy, Leroy, Hatcher, Curb, Jobby, Unoriginal Guy, Shadow God, Stime, Nick Says Henlo, Dio Peo, LookiePlex, Smooth, Helix, This is Murica. Thank you guys for subs. Thor, thank you for gifting the Sync for a sub. Thank you guys. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you enjoy the sub badge and the emotes. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you, Zange TM. Thank you, Anonymous, for buying some merch. Sicario, thank you for buying some merch. No for the 100 bits, thank you. Sen, thank you for the 663. Yeah, crazy times, dude. Baker Dose, thank you for $20. Thank you, thank you. Boss, thank you for the 100 bits. Gabriel, thank you for the 100 bits. Train Runner, thank you for the 100 bits. Calcium, thank you for ordering some merch. Raven, thank you for 100 bits. Clueless, thank you for the 5,570 bits. And that was 3 hours ago. They're probably still not here. God damn it. God damn it. And it's the same person from yesterday. Oh, 2 days ago. Is he still here? Well, I hope he hears that I'm very thankful. Thank you, dude. Well, I hope he's living his best life out there. Thank you so much. Ben, the Ultimate Legend, thank you for $5, man. Oh, that was from yesterday. And yeah, that's it. The only thing that matters to me, chat, the only thing is completing Pacifist. Gonna release a ramble and then use every last bit of energy I have today working on that shit. I'll be doing classic. One more episode to Pacifist done? No. Heaps more episodes, my guy. Heaps. I mean, the main series ends in 2 episodes, and that's the important thing. Oh, Pacifist has gone on longer than Oko. Hell yeah, definitely. Pacifist is over 2 years old. Yeah, we did it, yeah. One day, demo, one day. The hard part about streaming for 10 hours isn't the streaming for 10 hours. It's trying to be entertaining for 10 hours. Like, any person can sit in a chair and just play video games for 10 hours. I mean, that's still taxing. But it's the trying to be engaging, constantly responding to stuff, having to think about the strats and all that jazz. Like, my old 10-hour streams, you know, as I got 5+ hours in, I was just like, to varying degrees, you know? Are there any missions you can't do Pacifist on? Of course. We'll see the final stats. Actually, I can show you the stats so far if you like. This is Murica TV already has a sub. What? No, they don't. Okay, we'll give one to something topic 13. I'll show you in a second. Am I in the top 30? No, I'm not. Okay. Here's what Pacifist looks like so far. If you weren't there for the episode, I recently went back and tried to improve it a bit, and so I've reduced it by 13 so far. But so these ones, 1 here. So I guess Yeah, so the green ticks are the ones that were fine. The purple are ones that I've improved on, I guess. This probably shouldn't be purple still, but... Although I've already done it, though. Yeah, so there's a lot of missions I can do, but a lot of that I can't, you know. And this still hasn't been released. So, the end's number was 82. Before big score and ending. So this is what you've seen so far, that's 82. Which for the entire GTA ain't that many. But the dude in the article said 700. Yeah, he did. He did say that. That is a thing that he said. I guess I'll see if there's anyone that I should be hosting. And I'm going to go lay on my floor. And be a tired person. It's weird. Is it weird to host people that you don't know, chat? Kind of is, right? I will raid. Nah, I just feel so awkward raiding people, man. I'ma just go. Bye-bye, guys. Boop. Another time when I feel less awkward.